Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I hope everyone is having a fantastically amazing day. Today, I am back, and I am back from. How long was I gone? I think I wasn't live last weekend, or something like that, and then wasn't live for quite a while. I was actually traveling. I actually I was in London. I went to London. Didn't want to announce it in advance. Didn't want to say, "Hey, I'm going to London, everybody."
Weakling. How do you spell Tsortzis? T-Z-O-R-T-Z-I-S.
It's tortoise.
T-Z-O-R-T-Z-I-S. All right, got it.
Tortoise.
Sending out the links here.
Yeah, so I didn't say in advance where I was going because I thought kind of like I thought I don't want to advance. I don't want to announce that I'm going to London and all that. But then I thought to myself, as I was in London, I thought to myself, wait a minute, why? What's wrong with that? So as I was there, I just tweeted out and said, hey, I'm in London. So, and it was very interesting to receive then messages and comments like, I hope you will enjoy getting stabbed while traveling through London and things like that, which was very, very cool. Unfortunately, nobody came for me. Nothing happened. These people are just so lazy.
Gosh, they're weak.
So unreliable, so weak. I go there to London, right, which is basically a Muslim city by now.
It's the Muslim capital of the West right now.
And I walk through the streets of London
thumping your chest,
unharmed,
wearing a shirt that says Muhammad was gay.
Unharmed, nothing is happening to me. What? And people go and stab like Salman Rushdie at some random event. Like,
you got the apostate prophet rolling up into your mosques, heads out, ladies in burqas looking him up and down like he's a piece of meat in a butcher store window. No one stabs the man.
Yeah.
Coward.
I still have both of my eyes right here. Look.
Both of his eyes.
What is wrong with you people?
Not the Dajjal.
What is wrong with you people? Anyway, so I was in London where I did some stuff, including going on Andrew Gold's podcast. Do you know about Andrew Gold, David?
No.
Okay, so Andrew Gold is this guy who recently who has a channel, and he is a former BBC
YouTube
dude, and he has a channel which is called Heretics period. I don't know why there is a period at the end of it.
Yeah, however, why is it all lowercase?
I don't know. But he has this channel here, and he invited me over to London to do an interview together. So I went there and did that. Sat down with him, did some serious talking. He said it was amazing. I thought so too.
Hey,
however,
look at
that. A few weeks out.
Hey, look at that. His discussion with Nuria has almost 500,000 views.
Yes.
That's huge.
And it has more than his discussion with Richard Dawkins.
Richard Hawkins?
Richard Lewskins. So it was also interesting.
It's Richard Dawkins right now. Yeah.
So actually, when this came out, this whole discussion with Nuria came out, I saw it and I boosted it. I shared it on my own YouTube community tab, which apparently made it blow up much more. And it also caused our channels to connect. He told me, like, after you shared that, it's like our channel got this thing, like people who watch your channel also watch this channel, Apostate Prophet. Mm-hmm. Then we became aware of you, so I decided to invite you over, and this was very good, he said. So and then I thought, all I did there was just to support Nuria, but apparently that really does something, like playing with the whole algorithm and introducing people to each other, making connections and so on. Anyway, and when I went there, I made more and more connections with Mahir Tusi and Tommy Robinson and so on. We'll get into that. You wanted to say something, it looks like.
No, I was just pointing out. Yeah, that's how the algorithm picks up on viewers who have the same interests and so on. And sometimes there's not enough overlap for it to pick up on. But then when things get clear, like there are clear crossovers and stuff like that, then it picks up on it. and it starts
Yeah.
linking the stuff together. It's like back in the day when we were like, I would make a video and link to yours at the end, and you would link to mine, and so the algorithm would pick up on that, and then it starts suggesting your videos to my audience and stuff like that, and vice versa. So yeah, it does pick up on that.
Yeah. So Tusi, Mahir Tusi, I actually I didn't really plan this very much in advance, but on my way there, I thought, hey, I should meet that guy. So I actually texted him before I went to London. He responded to me, and we talked about doing something possibly, and then it turned out that he got very busy that weekend, and but we exchanged numbers, and he said he would like to do some he would like to connect and do online stuff with me, maybe within the next few weeks. That was very nice. Tommy Robinson unfortunately was not there, not available. However, I did talk to him on the phone and also chatted with him. That was good, and also connected with quite a few other people. So there's a bunch of stuff in the works. I'm waiting kind of for this episode here to come out because it was pretty good. And it was very Islamophobic too. It was funny because I sat down with him, and as we are preparing for the topic, for the conversation, he's telling me the things that he wants to talk about, including my experience with Islam and being an ex-Muslim, and then the growth of Islam in the West, the whole Israel-Hamas war, and so on. But when it came to the growth of Islam in the West, I told him, I have to tell you, I will be very blunt. It might be a little bit uncomfortable. And he said to me, please do. So I took that very seriously when he said, please do. So I hope it's going to be all right. Yes. Anyway,
we're all gonna die. I hope that doesn't hurt your feelings, but you've got it worse over here than we do. You're gonna go first. Better you than us.
Yeah, I said, you imbeciles, it's over.
You
for
deserve what you get from the politicians you elected, you clowns.
Yes. Did you see this guy, by the way?
Who's this?
Muslim cowboy.
Muslim cowboy.
Muslim cowboy.
Yeah. That's not the Muslim cowboy. That's you. Oh, down the bottom. No, not innocent civilians.
So here is this thing. Muslim cowboy was talking about how there is no evidence. Oh, right here. Look, after months and zero evidence of Hamas hurting innocents on October 7th or after, we now actually do have video evidence of Jews killing babies. This isn't Zionism, and so on. Months of zero evidence of Hamas hurting innocents. So I responded and said, you always look at all your replies. Here are just a few examples. Do you acknowledge it, or will you continue to lie? So I posted 4 videos, which I don't want to play now. In each one, you can see different kinds of random civilians getting brutally killed. His response was, not innocent civilians.
And by the way, that's an important admission and clarification that so many people don't understand. I'm not just talking about this situation. I'm saying this goes all the way back to when there were terrorist attacks for decades. And after every terrorist attack, the people would quote Surah 5, verse 32. Anyone who kills a man, it's as if he's killed all mankind. And then they would say, see, Islam condemns the killing of innocents. And your average Muslim might believe that and might actually believe that he's making an important point and not be trying to deceive people. But the actual educated people and the Dawah guys and the scholars who were saying that, they know they were being massively misleading. They were saying Islam condemns the killing of innocents. Okay. Are the people who were attacked innocent according to Islam? Are the people who were attacked in London innocent according to Islam? Or are the people who were attacked on September 11th, were they innocent according to Islam? No, because at the very least, you're talking about taxpayers who fund the governments who make mischief in Muslim lands. They're not innocent. So they would say something that they know is appealing to Western people who don't know anything about Islam. And they go, oh, well, yeah, see, Islam condemns the killing of innocents. So this attack in London or in Paris or in New York it has nothing to do with Islam because those people were innocent. No, not according to Islam. They're not, you giant morons. They're not innocent according to Islam. We're not. I'm not innocent according to Islam. AP's not innocent according to Islam. Everyone out there, your grandma is not in. She may be the nicest person in the world. She is not innocent according
Especially
to
not
Islam.
your grandma. Yeah.
Yeah, not your grandma. So tell your grandma that.
Screw your grandma.
Cash me outside.
So I posted this and said everyone in Gaza is an innocent civilian. Everyone in Israel is a legitimate target. This is how they think. I mean, he didn't clarify. Yeah, he just
That's what he means.
He was fine with it. So that's what he pretty much means. So when they say innocent, when they say innocence, they are talking about whoever is innocent from their inner sense of something. I don't know why I'm trying to rap here. However, yeah, this is Muslim Cowboy. This is Muslim Cowboy. However, we want to get to here. I just can't get past all of these things that I'm seeing here right now. Here's Nikki Haley. To be honest, I just made this tweet because I thought it's going to get a rise out of people. It's going to make people angry.
You said base.
Nikki Haley went to Israel and wrote "finish them" on one of these things, and I said "based," and people got very angry at me just because I said "based." Why would they get angry? It's just a word, "based."
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing.
And it is. I mean, it is just amazing to me that you listen to the Dawa guys and the Muslim scholars, and it's death to Jews, death. Hitler was right. Back to the camps, from the river to the sea. And then you say, hey, Israel has to do something about Hamas. And they go, oh my goodness, you're supporting genocide. Oh, we're being oppressed. Help, we're being oppressed.
And speaking of that, here we are, coming to none other than Hamza Tortis. Hamza Tortis.
I love this guy.
What do you know about Hamza Tortis, David?
It's I don't know. It's a weird thing. He seems to be like popular, like among the Dawa guys, but he just never gets the popularity of like an Ali Dawa or a Muhammad Hijab or someone like that. So I can run down everything I know about this guy in a few seconds. We can always go into more detail, but so he used to roll with Adnan Rashid back in the day. He was really energetic about the inimitability argument from the Quran. He used to argue for the scientific miracles. Then he messed with the wrong guy. Who was that? PZ Meyer or something like. Anyway, he started arguing the scientific miracles of the Quran with the wrong guy. Guys, do you remember who that was? I think it was one of the popular atheists back then. I think Meyer.
If you can't remember, then it means he doesn't matter.
So Hamza got totally embarrassed and humiliated because he actually knows nothing about science, and he's just using the stuff that works against people on the street, not the stuff that actually works against a scientist. He was exposed as a clown. To his credit, he later admitted that he got dusted, and he's the guy who actually destroyed the scientific miracles argument. I mean, it was a terrible argument, but he destroyed it in the eyes of the Dawa community, because he told the Dawa community, and he's correct. He's saying basically, guys, in order for one of these arguments to work, we'd have to know that the Quran is actually saying this, and we're not reading it into the Quran. Two, we'd have to know that this is like not going to change, and it's something about science that the theory is not going to change down the road. And then three, we'd have to know that this couldn't have been known prior to Muhammad. Like, people couldn't have known that. He couldn't have heard that from someone. And guess what? We have nothing in the Quran that meets those requirements as far as something that you could say is miraculous scientific knowledge. So give it up. And then, but he's not popular. So it was later when Ali Dawa, who's way more popular, said the same thing, which he was getting from Hamza Tortis. So Hamza Tortis, he told that to the Dawa guys, and then the Dawa guys stopped using the scientific miracles argument, but regular people at the popular level were still using it. And then Ali Dawa blurted it out that the scientific miracles argument has been debunked. So I know that. I never talked much about it, but he was there's that site. There's a hookup site. I want to think Sally Mae, but that's like loans and stuff. It had some name. It sounds like a person. There you go. Yeah. So there's it's like a hookup site because they shared his description. So anyway, there was a leak where people who were using that, their info got leaked. It's supposed to be private. And then his message was like, I just like sex and cuddly snuggling and stuff like that. And then he pulled the Shaggy defense. It wasn't me. Said it was all a big setup. And people are like, wait a minute, it's billing your credit card for how long now? And the account was set up. All that data was right there. The account was set up in Australia when you happen to be in Australia. You're telling us that your credit card has been being billed all this time for this, and you had no idea it was all a setup, right? Because that was his theory. He's being framed. So according to his theory, when he was in Australia, someone who's in his location in Australia set up an account using his credit card in his name, set up the account, and then he had it for, I guess, a year and a half or something like this. He's getting billed for it. He never notices, but the brilliant plan was to eventually leak all the info from this platform to the public and thus expose him. And fortunately, we know so much about his perfectly functioning moral compass that he would never do something like that, and that it was all a setup. And that's pretty much everything I know about Hamza Tortis.
I don't know why you have to go and shame this guy now and attack him.
Hey, little side note. I actually didn't, because I'm always like, I assume these guys are doing, I mean, given their profit, I assume these guys are doing messed up stuff behind the scenes. So I tend to go after arguments. So even when this was happening and stuff, I don't think I said anything about it when it was happening. If Hamza ever got brought up after that, I'd be like, hey, you mean that guy with that got exposed in that site? I might have mentioned it and so on, but I've never blasted him, because at the end of the day, I'm way more concerned about what your arguments are than about the pervy stuff you guys are doing behind the scenes. And I have to say, completely serious right now, this guy could be banging people, having in these hookups from this site daily. He would be a saint compared to his prophet. Whatever this guy's doing, it's nowhere near as bad as the stuff Muhammad was doing. So I can't put a finger at the guy. Every Muslim I see doing messed up stuff, I'm like, well, he's not as bad as his prophet. So he's actually doing a good job. He's doing a better job than his prophet.
The excuse that he presented in response to this whole thing is just so ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so this is what we know about Hamza Tortis. So aside from that, I think David knows much more about Hamza Tortis than I do. My experience with Hamza Tortis is when I was asked in the past, I said, I think he looks like he's a nicer guy. He's generally more polite, nicer, and so on. However, he is also a friend of Mohammed Hijab and Ali Dawa, and a very good colleague of Mohammed Hijab. He works together with Mohammed Hijab all the time, is aware of Mohammed Hijab's things and also with Ali Dawa's positions. So Tortis is basically one of them. He is one of them. He is part of their team. And he did some very unpleasant thing just yesterday by making a post on X, formerly known as Twitter. What are you laughing about, David?
Something that we need to make a record of. Someone needs to remind me of this because I will forget it. But there is something funny. Madger posted Aisha Madison. Make a joke site called Aisha Madison.
That's very, very bad.
Because even as part of the joke, it would have to be hook up with little girls and stuff. So it's kind of disgusting even to make a joke site out of that. Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
So he made a post.
Hold on. I have to say, if there was an Aisha Madison site about hookups with little girls, and it was based in some Muslim country where like Western internet overlords couldn't like shut it down. I don't know how the internet works really, but suppose it was there, that would be the most popular site on the planet in the Muslim world.
Yeah,
it would. It just would be. That's the situation we're in right now.
By the way, update on the whole on the Israel-Hamas war. Israel, the IDF just today,
they took the border.
Within the last hours, took the crossing, the Philadelphia crossing, which is at the border of Egypt, in Gaza. So they have very much now encircled everything that needs to be
Yeah.
encircled,
Now you have no
and
escape.
have Rafah in their target. And in Rafah, Rafah is currently the last stronghold of Hamas, where Hamas is hiding and also keeping all of the remaining hostages, as it seems. It's going to be, and of course, that they're using all kinds of propaganda now to say, no, 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 don't do Rafah stuff. But Hamas is there, and Hamas is in control of Rafah, so they're going to go in.
And people don't understand why there's so much. I mean, think from the perspective of the rest of the world, why is Rafah so important? Well, it's basically the last chance that the Ummah has to convince the world that they've done anything to stand in the way of Israel at all. In other words, they since October, they've been whining about genocide and saying oh, look at this, we have to stop this. Oh, ceasefire. It hasn't stopped Israel at all, even slightly. And now their backs are literally up against the wall. Hamas's backs are literally up against the wall. They're surrounded. Israel's going to snuff out that last remaining ember there. And the Dawa guys know if they do not get some sort of ceasefire before Hamas is completely finished, that the impression on the world and on the Ummah is there's nothing we can do to stop. There's nothing we are so incredibly weak and pathetic that we can't stop one IDF soldier from doing one thing. There's nothing we can do. We are completely helpless, powerless, weak. There's nothing we can do about it. That is going to, because that you'll remember, that wasn't the main one. When people are polled, when Muslims are polled, what causes them to doubt whether Islam is true? The top thing is moral problems with Muhammad, but also another significant one is the weakness of the Ummah. They're supposed to be controlling the world, and yet they're really, really weak and can't do anything. So the Dawah guys understand this is disastrous, not just for Gaza, but for the Ummah. The Ummah's going to be looking at this saying, wait, you mean a couple million Israelis can take this, can do what they want right here to the Ummah, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing we can do? And we supposedly got the final prophet and the final message and the final, and these guys are inferior to us and they're supposed to be subjugated and they just smack us around like rag dolls? What is this? And it has an impact on them. And the Dawah guys know the fallout, the psychological fallout of this after the dust clears is going to be disastrous, and the avalanche is going to accelerate.
It is going to become an avalanche, a
tsunami.
Yeah, they are really they were really expecting that that this is going to finally be the end of Israel. End of Israel is coming. Now everyone is waking up. Nobody's waking up. There is nothing to wake up. Israel is crushing Hamas right now. The last thing that was said was from the ICJ. Apparently, a ruling was made which is quite unclear in the language, urging Israel to stop any military action in Rafah that may cause destruction to part of the population. Israel said, yeah, okay, it seems that they're telling us not to commit genocide. Fine, we're not committing genocide. Let's go in. So
in other words, here's what Netanyahu said. He says, I've just been looking over this important document given to me by the ICJ. Let me tell you what I think we're going to do with this here in Israel. I just finished going to the bathroom and all right. Well, that's what we think of this. But yeah, thank you for your consideration.
So Israel really just said, yeah, okay, well, whatever. Yeah, we're going in, and we're going to finish the job now. So they're doing that, and of course, everyone is panicking because that will be the final front, and the war will be done. It will be crushed, inshallah, very soon. Now, however, here's Hamza Tortis. Who I always thought is kind of not such a terrible guy. Quite nice, isn't it?
He did seem nicer.
He said, important clarification and apology. Over 10 years ago, I made a statement.
Hold up. Stop this.
What?
You got to start over. I want people to understand the significance of this, because one of the things we've been saying is the message of the Da'is can change in a heartbeat based on how they're doing in the world. We've said for years, jihad proceeds in stages. And if you go back 15 years ago, what? The Islamophobes are saying that Aisha was 9. That's a lie. That's a lie. Now they shout it from the rooftops, right? The things that Da'is said 10 years ago, 15 years ago is completely irrelevant to what they say right now. They look around in the world and they say, what is the important thing that we can say for our religion at this point, right now? And so what you have is, years ago, Hamza, no, what? Death penalty? Are you crazy? What a bunch of Islamophobes. And now what's he going to say? Guys, the world has changed. The situation has changed. Our numbers have changed. Now the percentage of Muslims in places like London is unstoppable. You can't stop it. And so our message can change all of a sudden. And now all of his followers are instantly going to go from, what? A death penalty? No, to, that's right, we're going to kill you, we're going to slaughter you, we're going to chop your heads off, we're going to be eating popcorn as we watch you be beheaded, yeah? And that's how quickly it can flip. And that's why you just can't take it seriously when one of these guys is telling you something that sounds good to you. You have no clue what he's going to say 5 years from now when the world has changed. But anyway, I wanted people to be aware of that as he's acknowledging, yeah, what I was saying 10 years ago, that's not the correct position.
Yeah, and he's referring to his old position, by the way, which is here, for example, from an interview from 2016, actually 2015, I think, which was updated on 2016. However, it says here, being a Muslim convert, you support apostasy laws. How logical. He says, I have done some thinking on this, and I don't believe in apostasy laws. The apostasy laws are outdated laws based on colonial penal codes. Islam has a concept of irtidad, which can be loosely translated as treason. Islam believes in intellectual freedom, freedom of belief, and freedom of conscience. Merely changing one's mind and religion does not constitute punishment. Okay, well, cool.
Wait, look at that. Wait.
Very nice. That's very
Islam believes in intellectual freedom, freedom of belief, and freedom of conscience. Merely changing one's mind and religion does not constitute punishment. So that's what he was saying when that's what was convenient for the Ummah.
Yes.
Because back then they were in the phase of trying to dupe Westerners into not being concerned about Islam. Now Westerners are concerned about Islam, and now they're focused on consolidating their strength in the Ummah to finish the job. And there it's going to be, that's right, because what impresses Muslims? What impresses Westerners? Freedom of belief, freedom of conscience, intellectual freedom, freedom of speech. And so Muslims tell Westerners, yeah, that's what Islam teaches. What impresses the Ummah? We're stronger than you. We chop your head off. And so now they've switched to impressing the Ummah. And of course, the message is going to change. Can't say we didn't tell you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. They are so fickle, and they can just change and switch and whatever as they please. This is how they operate. Now, from this quite reasonable message here, where he says, "Oh no, apostasy laws, yeah, they're outdated. I don't believe in them anymore. Yeah, in Islam, there's intellectual freedom and freedom of belief and freedom of conscience. Yeah, merely changing one's religion and or one's mind does not constitute punishment." In it. From that, he switched to this. Important clarification and apology. Over 10 years ago, I made a statement about the had for ridda that was incorrect. I was immediately critical of this because he's using the Islamic terms only without clarifying. Had here.
Why would he do that? Why would he do that?
Because he doesn't want the general English-speaking non-Islamic public to know, or the authorities in charge, or Twitter to immediately be able to see that he is outright saying, I believe apostates should be killed. So he's veiling it. He's being dishonest. He's a sneaky, cowardly weasel.
So So on the one hand, 10 years ago, he was saying, no, Islam believes in freedom of conscience and freedom of belief. So if someone wants to leave Islam, that's up to the person. We would never do anything to that sort of person. And now the Muslims who are being honest about it, Ali Dawah and people like that, I'm sure behind the scenes calling him out, and their followers calling him out. Hey, why'd you say this? Why are you saying this? Are you saying that our Dawah guys are liars?
Oh,
And
damn.
then he gets to clarify it. But who's he trying to clarify it for? Who's this geared towards? Towards the Ummah. So what does he do? Does he post, hey, I affirm apostates will be killed, and we're working towards establishing an Islamic caliphate that will behead people like the apostate prophet? Is that what he says? No. Why? Because he's still trying. He's on the border. He's still trying to appeal to Western viewers while thumping his chest for his Muslim readers. And so he uses the Muslim terms that your average English person is not going to understand. Your average English reader is going to look at this, go, 10 years ago, I made a statement about the Had for Ridda that was incorrect. Oh, who cares? They're talking about their fine legal points and so on. What he doesn't say is, I made a mistake when I said we don't have the death penalty for apostasy in Islam. So yeah, we're gonna go around. If we get our way, we're gonna go around chopping these guys' heads off.
Yeah. And let's help him out here, since he doesn't want to, since he has difficulties apparently writing it out in proper English. Let's help him out here. So when he says, over 10 years ago, I made a statement about the Had for Ridda that was incorrect. Had is it's called boundaries. You could say it's corporal punishments. It's punishments for certain serious crimes. Hudud is the plural for it, but had punishments are punishments that are harsh, that are for serious crimes, and where there cannot be too much ambiguity. They must be carried out, and they must be carried out publicly. So it is a form of public execution or public punishment in order to send a public message. So that's what had is. And Ridda literally means going back, and refers to leaving Islam. Somebody who leaves Islam is an apostate, and is called a murtad, which comes directly from this word ridda. So what he's saying here is, over 10 years ago, I made a statement about the punishment for apostasy that was incorrect. So the statement that he made in the past, which is that he doesn't believe in it and that he thinks it is outdated, was incorrect. I described the punishment and explained it in the wrong way. I have retracted those statements in the past, and I reiterate now for the sake of clarity and 100% transparency. I apologize for this mistake, and I want to make it very clear that I fully believe in, support, and defend all Islamic laws, including the punishment for apostasy. Including the punishment for apostasy.
No, the Had of Ridda.
Segregation of the sexes, hudud in general, so all those corporal punishments in general, etc. I believe in these laws as per the understanding of traditional Orthodox Islam, based on the understanding of the pious predecessors and the four schools of thought. Pious predecessors means the early Muslims, the Salaf, they're called, the early Muslim generations, the first ones, and the four schools of thought are those who are accepted within Sunni Islam. All of these rule that apostasy is punished with death.
Yeah.
So he says here that he clearly and fully believes in and supports the Islamic laws, including the death penalty for apostasy.
And as far as the four schools, yes, all four schools of Islamic jurisprudence affirm the death penalty for apostasy. They differ on some specifics. They disagree on, for instance, whether a female apostate would also be executed. Three of the four schools said yes. One says no. You punish her in other ways, but not by beheading her. And there are disagreements about whether you have to give someone a waiting period to repent. Like, do you say, okay, we're going to give you 3 days to rethink this. We're going to come back in 3 days. We're going to see if you change your mind. If you change your mind, we're going to let you slide. If you still have decided that you're a Christian or whatever you converted to, then we're going to chop your head off. Whereas some of the schools, no, you just, what? You're an apostate? Bam, head goes off. So they disagree on some of the details, but they affirm the same basic position. Yes, if you're an apostate, they would all affirm if you are a male apostate who has left Islam, you have to die if you do not convert back.
Yep. And that is, it is unanimous that apostasy is punished. According to mainstream traditional Islam, it is unanimous. Apostasy must be punished. They only differ on how it is punished and what the details are, who is given a right to repent, and so on. And they are unclear on whether women are executed or not. But it is quite clear. Traditionally, apostasy is punished with execution. He knows it very well. He says, I believe and know Islam is morally and intellectually superior to any other way of life.
Yeah,
I believe
that's why we bang little girls, because we're morally superior. That's why we bang those little girls. And we
I
take
believe
all the
Islam
sex
is
slaves.
a mercy for all people.
A mercy. That's why they chop your head off.
Except apostates. Here is a very infamous clip, and we can have it explained once again to us by this mouse.
To punishment to apostates. And you just want Adam to be like, no, really? Bro, Adam is taking the mick out of you. Bro, this is a part of our religion. There's a reason to it. Yeah? There's a reason why there's a capital punishment. Because people like you, little weaklings, leave their religion and cause corruption in the land by spreading it. The capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt. And we're proud of that. Yeah? Capital punishment will be applied in an Islamic state. Yeah? Not individuals going and doing it themselves like idiots. No, under an emir, it is done. Yes. And we, you know what? We'll be watching. We'll be watching. Because if you're going to cause corruption in the land, that's going to cause more damage to the society as a whole.
Corruption in the land.
An individual's right. Hey, can I drink alcohol? Yeah, sure. Drink alcohol, run someone over, kill them, set all this kind of chaos. No, Islam says the right of the community is greater than you individual wanting your right to freedom, which is BS. Absolutely BS. Yeah? Don't get me started. So it just backfired on you.
It just backfired on you. So here you have it once again. One of my favorite clips to always bring up in these situations. You have Ali Dawa, arguably one of the dumbest people in the world, who also. Sorry, I just accidentally pushed my goat button. But one of the dumbest people in the world, but also one of the most popular Muslim apologists.
Oopsie.
Which is no big surprise, because that's usually how it works. If you are very dumb, you might very easily become a very popular Muslim apologist. It's actually a feature. It's a feature, and it's desirable as in Islamic apologetics and Islamic dawah preaching. So he is one of the most popular guys out there. Incredibly stupid. However, he maintains, like many others, it just says it publicly without shame, that apostates need to be executed under the Islamic State. And he works towards spreading Islam. And he is in the UK. And in the UK, they hope and they work on converting as many people to Islam as possible. So if in the future Muslims have the means, right, the power to change society and to finally implement their much demanded, much needed Islamic laws at any point, at any place in the UK, and begin to influence the government, it will be also their ambition to install punishments like the punishment for apostasy, so execution for apostasy in the United Kingdom, which at that point, of course, will be on its path to becoming the United Emirate, United Caliphate, whatever it is. Unfortunately, British people are not very smart, so they just let it happen, and they're like, I know, mate, it's all right. They're just trying to, they're just like you and me. It's like you and me, yeah. Let's not be Islamophobic. Let's not be bigoted. Yeah, let's not listen to Tommy Robinson. This is just racist. He don't like brown people. They just believe in God just like you and me. It's no problem. All that Sharia talk, all that apostasy talk, that's not true, mate. No, these guys are taking over. They want to take over and they want to chop off heads.
Mhm.
Heads must roll. That's what they want.
By the way, look at the. I like to point out the manipulation tactics when they're being used. But you see Ali Dawah here? Because you remember, Adam Saleh, that's who he's talking about right here, who took the mick out of you, yeah? That dude, dumb as a brick, but back then he was way more popular than Ali Dawah.
Yes.
So Ali Dawah was blasting Adam Saleh for free mixing and having girls in his videos and stuff like that. Ali Dawah was blasting him. So eventually they had their little makeup session. Adam brings on Ali Dawah and stuff, and then you go on their show. They have hijab, ambush you, and so on. And then what does Ali Dawah do? Oh yeah, look! Oh, you thought you was gonna get him, but Adam, he's him so strong. Yeah, him so strong. He took the mick out of you. You see this? What's that? It's now Adam is allowing us, the Dawah guys, to use his platform to spread, to help us get more popular. So what do? We praise him. When he's not helping us, we shower him with insults and abuse. He's being a bad Muslim. And what was Adam's response back then? Oh, you see, they're attacking me because they're just jealous of my popularity and stuff. And so, but then once they can use him, then they shower him with praise. Fast forward, then Ali Dawah is the popular one. And Muslims attack him for having these ladies and the free mixing and all this stuff. And what's Ali Dawah? Oh, you was just jealous of my popularity, yeah? You was just jealous. It's just like everything is like everything in Islam is just manipulation and what works for popularity. And that's it. That's like that's all they do all day. It's like, my goodness, it's just drama.
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
Anyway, I believe and know Islam is morally and intellectually superior to any other way of life. I believe Islam is a mercy for all people. Yeah.
Especially the little girls that we bang.
Yeah.
Just imagine.
Most of my life's work has revolved around this belief, and this is the essence of our work at Sapiens Institute, Sapiens.org, the organization I have been blessed to be the founder and CEO of. I just find it ironic that that really Islamic preachers would really have the audacity to create an organization called Sapiens.
Hey, according to Zakir Naik, aren't Homo sapiens extinct?
Yes, they are. They are. So I believe that we must convey Islam to the world with wisdom, mercy, and confidence. Okay, that's fantastic, Hamza Tortoise. However, why don't you then just make it clear what you're actually talking about here if you want to preach Islam to the world?
Yeah, this is massively cowardly. I mean, what he's doing right there. So think about this. He's in Islam. I mean, look at some of this. Islam is morally and intellectually superior to any other way of life. Notice he says that in clear language that anyone can understand. Islam is a mercy for all people. It's all about mercy. It's all about mercy. And literally the paragraph before, he's talking about beheading people, chopping people's heads off, but he uses the Muslim term so that people don't realize he's talking about chopping the heads off of millions of people. And then he knows your average Western reader, they'll read the next part, a mercy for all people. Oh, you see, he's saying it's a mercy for all people. Isn't this great? They have no clue that he just called for the public beheadings of millions of people.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute.
What?
You can now make comments on super chats.
What?
When did that happen? I see now people.
Oh, there are comments on super chats. Oh my goodness.
When somebody makes a super chat, you can go on that. You can tap on a super chat, and you can actually make a comment about in response to that super chat.
It sucks though, because I just checked to see if I could make a super chat on a super chat, and I don't see an option for making a super chat in response to a super chat.
No, but why would they even? You can now directly comment on what?
That is funny.
Weird. This is weird.
Interesting. Funny. So now someone could leave like $100 super chat on some topic, and there might be like 50 comments on that thing.
Yeah,
because it'll be up for a while.
everyone will just leave their opinions and their stuff under that $100 super chat. That is funny. That is funny. Weird. Interesting. For those who have not yet seen my response to the incoherent ramblings of detractors, we will come to that in a second. I responded actually to Hamza Tortoise when he made this tweet. It's good that this here is in Arabic. I'm not going to translate it. But Egyptian atheist always has a way of responding to Islamists.
He's got a way with words, an Egyptian way with words.
Woe to those who can read and understand Arabic and who already know what this means. But I said, why don't you say it plainly in English instead of hiding behind the Arabic terms?
Like a little weakling.
You little weakling.
And to be fair, Hamza is very clearly hiding behind Arabic terms, whereas Ali Dawah, to his credit, at least came out and said it. Right, Ali Dawah's a liar in tons of other contexts, but on that issue, he said, "Yeah, of course that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it. We're gonna be watching. I'm gonna be eating popcorn." He said all these things. Hamza is actually not proud of that. He's saying it, but he's clearly not proud of it in the way Ali Dawah is. Ali Dawah is proud of it. Hamza is ashamed.
We're proud of that.
Now, I made a response to this, and he actually responded back to me. That was very nice of him. Very, very nice of him.
Dope.
But I said as soon as I saw this, warning: British Muslim preacher and apologist says apostasy, ridda, from Islam must be punished by execution, had. So people who leave Islam, like me and many others, must be executed. He says it in Islamic Arabic terms to get away. This is what the UK is harboring.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say anything wrong?
No, you were completely correct. All you did was clarify what he deliberately made unclear.
Yep. Now, Sarah said, Ridvan, it's time to send your troops on those Greeks again, upon which I said, soon, inshallah. I am currently in the works of doing that. However, novelist Rich Underhill said, OMG, Arabic is like such a beautiful language. I love hearing the melodic call to prayer 5 times a day. I'm sure it's about flowers and hugging puppies. We need more of that everywhere. But anyway, Hamza Tortoise then responded to my short response with a text. It seems he took it very seriously. He said in response to me, you didn't only leave Islam, you left humanity. You are a pro-genocide, vile, poor excuse of a human being. This is so funny. He immediately pulled the card of
Genocide.
Of you left humanity and the genocide card.
Yeah, keep in mind, what you did is pretty tame by our standards. You just said, hey, let me translate the words that you deliberately did not translate because you're trying to keep this unclear for non-Muslims. I'll just go ahead and tell the non-Muslims what you obviously said to Muslims. That's it. That's all you do. Yeah, you left humanity. You're not human. The Quran is right. You're the worst of creatures. Die. This is why we're going to chop your head off. And we're still a mercy to mankind, all creatures, including you.
Yeah. It's good that he says, so from here, he says, you are a pro-genocide, vile, poor excuse of a human being. He obviously knows what I'm doing and how I have been involved in the whole Israel-Hamas war commentary so far. So it's actually refreshing to see that he has been following and that he has his strong opinions about me, as much as he doesn't like them. So he said, you didn't leave Islam. You didn't only leave Islam. You left humanity.
Hey, at least he admits you left Islam.
Yeah.
Because keep in mind, this is just funny, guys. It's just funny that everything I hear reminds me of when they were saying the opposite. If you go back 20 years ago, they said no one has ever left Islam.
No.
That was one of the common myths back then. No one leaves Islam. Anyone who says he left Islam is a liar. He's being paid by Jews. He's actually a Christian who's pretending to be an ex-Muslim, this and that. We heard that all the time. And whereas anyone who knew anything about Islam is like, what are you talking about? I mean, the first generation literally had to fight what were called the apostate wars over all the people who were leaving Islam. You're saying it never happens? What the heck is wrong with you?
There's
And so
actually a very
now,
good Muslim preacher who made a video on that. But continue.
oh yeah, I'm just saying it's so it's just amazing that you could take anything that the Dawa clowns are saying and fast forward 10 or 20 years, they're saying the exact opposite, and we're still supposed to trust them. It's like every time you see them, they're saying the opposite of what they were saying a couple years ago. And we're always supposed to believe them. Not only are we supposed to believe them, we're racist if we don't mindlessly accept the new lie that they're telling. It's just, is the whole world gone insane?
Also, I disagree on the whole "you left humanity" thing. I was a Muslim, so totally stupid. That doesn't make any sense. What? I'm not saying anything. Wait. Well, how did you interpret that, man? What I just said. It's terrible. What is this? There was actually a Muslim preacher who made some commentary on that, which I quickly want to look into. Islam is the only religion that nobody ever leaves. Yes, alhamdulillah, Islam is the only religion that nobody ever leaves. With all other religions, Christianity, Hinduism, Judaism, Buddhism, Scientology, atheism, agnosticism, people leave the religion. But with Islam, nobody ever leaves the religion. Now you might say, what about those who call themselves ex-Muslims and apostates? Well, those people were never Muslims to begin with, alhamdulillah. And if we were in an ideal Islamic state, that would be a different matter anyway.
Under an emir, it is done, yes.
And this is why Islam is beautiful, alhamdulillah. So there you have it. This is wisdom directly from the great Islamic scholar Sheikh Ibudi. The great Islamic scholar Sheikh Ibudi explained it here once again, what many others have said. I could have shown those people saying it, but Sheikh Ibudi always has the best takes on it. So yeah, that's basically what David was just talking about. Do not worry. Oh, he's still speaking to me here, by the way. Do not worry. Islam forbids jungle justice and forbids taking the law into one's own hands.
Here he's repeating the Ali Dawa, right? Not idiots
Tortoise,
doing it on their own.
Tortoise, I don't care. Mr. Tortoise, I don't care if Islam says a judge should do it or some regular person should do it. I frankly do not care. First off, there is no huge prohibition against people carrying out vigilante violence.
Yeah, that's what I was
This
wondering. What's he saying the penalty? In other words, if you were in an Islamic state and you said, "Hey, screw Muhammad, screw Islam, I don't believe in any of this," and a mob forms and kills you, what, according to Islam, is the punishment for that? For obeying Muhammad and killing you?
So from the books, from the jurisprudence books that I have read, the general idea is if somebody goes out and carries out the punishment on their own without leaving it to the court, it is like a misdemeanor. It is a minor offense, and the people in charge, the judge or the ruler in charge, can then punish this person. But the punishments can range from simply a warning, reprimanding the person, a slap on the wrist, to nothing more than, I think, several lashes or so. That's it. Or the ruler can also just say, it's okay, you are forgiven. That's it. That is it. So under an Islamic state, under Islamic law, rogue, vile Muslims could go out and kill ex-Muslims and get away with it. It wouldn't be an offense or a crime against Allah. It wouldn't be absolutely unacceptable haram. It would just be something that the ruler or the judge just has to deal with and has to correct. That's it. That's literally what he's talking about. Plus, again, as said, I don't care. I don't care if it's up to individuals or up to the judge. The point here is, under Islam, an apostate is executed. Nobody gives a crap about who is doing it. It doesn't matter at all. Imagine we said, yeah, of course, yeah, under our ideal system, yeah, everyone who converts to Islam, everyone who identifies as a Muslim should be executed. But hey, don't worry. Don't worry.
It's the
'cause
government. It's the
The
government.
judge is going to do it. You know, the government's going to do it, not just random people. The
Yeah, and the
government's-
Muslims will go,
Wait,
oh, okay. Well, as
Oh,
long as it's the government doing it, we're good to go. Yeah, we're fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing
Fine,
wrong
go
with
ahead.
that statement.
Go ahead, just bring your laws.
That
yeah.
is an important point. It's like they can't comprehend what lunatics they sound like. I mean, on the one hand, they will still call you an Islamophobe for not wanting to be executed. You don't want their system to take over. You stand in opposition to their system, and they call you names when they acknowledge, yeah, if we get control, we're going to chop your head off. And they'll sit there, what? It's our belief. It's our belief. When if you said the same thing in return, hey, if I get power, all you guys are going to get your heads chopped off by the government, they would suddenly see something wrong with it. They would say, what? How, that's the worst thing in the world. There's no concept at all of consistency in Islam. There's no concept of do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's we're superior to you. We get to treat you however we want. And since we mindlessly follow the ramblings of an illiterate 7th century Arabian caravan robber, then this means that any one of us who are complete idiots get to control you and kill you.
Yes.
And this is the perfect system that's a mercy to all mankind. This is insane and idiotic. It's a disaster. How is this not a complete joke to the entire world? That you have people like Ali Dawah, complete morons, thinking they have control over you. Because why? Because they follow the most obvious false prophet in history. They follow a guy who banged the little. We follow the guy who's banged the. Oh, good. That means we got to tell you what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a woman, yeah.
We chop your head off if you don't do what we do. See, this is the perfect system, and it's a mercy to mankind. Yeah.
She was 9 years old and she was an adult, yeah, when she was 9. So it's no problem, yeah.
You have already been intellectually defeated by Hakikachu and
Wait, didn't you crush a Kikachu? And did he even post it?
No, he still hasn't published the debate on his own channel because he's embarrassed by it. Yes.
How have you been intellectually defeated by
He
him?
still hasn't. So here's the thing, the debate that I had with Daniel Hakikachu, which he wanted to have with me, and it didn't go well for him. He still hasn't published this debate on his own channel. He probably never will, because he's embarrassed by it, because it went terribly for him. However, fine, whatever. Yes, I have been intellectually defeated by Hakikachu and others.
By the way, a little side note. I want people to understand this, because there is a real strong tendency when non-Muslims and Westerners see someone like Daniel Hakikachu acknowledging that he thinks it's perfectly acceptable for him to spread the legs of a freaking 4-year-old. There's a tendency to think, oh, he's just some lunatic. He's just some fringe lunatic. No, all these guys love him. Muhammad Hijab, Ali Dawah, Hamza Sortsit, they all love the guy. They all have the same views. Daniel is just the most vocal about it.
Everybody loves the pedophile.
So your misframing of the issue by citing danger, etc., is just further proof of how much of an insincere coward you are.
Misframing of the issue? He literally said, using the Arabic terms, that if he gets his way, he's going to chop your head off and behead millions of other people. And he says, oh, you're misframing the issue by saying that this involves danger. Because, again, no concept of consistency. It's not a danger to Hamza, is it? So who cares if you're getting your head chopped off? That's not a danger.
Thing. Hamza Tortoise, Mr. Hamza Tortoise, since it's apparently no big issue, and since I'm just misframing it by saying danger or by saying warning, I would just like to say one thing. You, or other people like you would not dare have a public discussion, a public debate on this. And it doesn't have to revolve around anything else. It can just revolve around you explaining your stance on apostasy and responding to questions that I have. You would not dare to do this. You wouldn't dare to do this because you are cowards and you are liars. You are dishonest cowards. That's what you guys are. Because we know what you guys believe. We know we know the reality. We know that you think that if the circumstances arise as they should arise according to you, and Islamic laws are finally implemented, then people like me and others should be executed. This is what you believe. When we pointed out, you had like, oh, just misframing it. You wouldn't dare. You would not dare have a public debate on this issue because you're cowards. You, Tortoise, you are a giant coward.
And here's perhaps the most insane part of all this. You ready for this? Think about how insane this is. Because you're talking about debating and so on. We've pointed out already, all the things that they said 15, 20 years ago, they say the opposite now. And we're still supposed to take them seriously, right? So 15, 20 years ago, we were lying when we said that Aisha was 9 years old. We were lying when we said there's a death penalty for apostasy. What were the arguments they were using back then? No one ever leaves Islam. The scientific miracles are the proof of Islam. It's indisputable. It's undeniable. It's ironclad. The perfect preservation of the Quran, dot for dot, letter for letter. It's a miracle. This is the proof. No one could possibly deny this unless you're just evil. What has happened since then? They acknowledged that everything they were saying for years was all a lie. It was all a lie. It was all a complete lie. Okay, so new quick question. Why should we believe in Islam? Everything you guys said as a reason to believe in Islam turned out to be a lie. Yeah. Why should we believe in Islam now, when the people who defend it are the biggest liars on the planet? Why should we take your prophet seriously? There's a question that millions of Muslims are facing right now. Wait a minute, all the stuff that they propped up our religion with and said that this is the proof, turns out to be a lie. It's all been based on lies. Why should we believe in Islam now? What's the real answer? The real answer. Not because it preaches monotheism. What's the real answer to the question, why should we continue believing Islam? What's the real answer? The real answer is because we're going to chop your head off if you leave. And we're going to get our way. We're going to establish our state. We're going to chop your head off if you reject Islam. That's the real answer. Everything else was a lie. Every other reason was a lie. The real answer is you're going to follow Muhammad because we'll kill you if you don't. What's that mean? It means that you're being punished for realizing that this is actually a religion that's based on complete lies. And so this is what's insane. Hamza cannot give anything remotely resembling a coherent case for Islam. And so what's he left with now? We'll chop your head off if you leave it. So now we're announcing, yes, guys, all of you people running around London, if you think you're going to leave Islam, no, we're getting stronger and we will chop your head off. So you better stick to your deen because we'll cut your head off. So what has happened? At first, for years, we don't need to talk about this death penalty for apostasy because we'll fill people's heads with lies and convince them to stay in Islam. Oops, the lies aren't working anymore. What are we going to do now? Back to threats. We'll kill you. It's a mafia masquerading as a religion.
We kill you.
But I mean, dude, that's absolutely insane. We can say nothing that would actually convince a well-informed person that Muhammad is a prophet, but we'll chop your head off for not believing in him anyway.
By the way,
we have no case for this guy. We cannot make a case that this guy was an actual prophet, but we'll kill you if you don't follow him. We will chop your freaking head off for not following this guy that we have zero evidence of him being a prophet.
You said something very interesting, which is we can say nothing. That just brings to my mind one thing, which is that people like this vile creature here say all of these things, and they expect us not to say anything in response. Because if we say anything, if we just utter some criticism, they want to say that it's Islamophobia. My feelings are hurt. How could this be allowed? So I just want to be here. I just want to do the beginning here, and as an ex-Muslim, as somebody who is not afraid of anything that these people have to offer, I want to say your religion is a religion of death, a religion of blood, a religion of destruction, a religion of hopelessness, a religion of
Pedophilia.
hate, a religion of evil, a religion of pedophilia, a religion
Torture,
of sex addiction and of rape, of torture. Screw your religion, to hell with your religion, to hell with those who want to impose this religion on to others, and may the world unite and do whatever they can in their power to reasonably defend themselves against this vile, this sick, this absolutely bastardized, horrible, messed up, intellectually disabled religion that you are proposing. And every single one of you who holds these beliefs, I wish we treated Muslims the way you think non-Muslims should be treated under Islam. So,
I don't, for the record.
I don't either. I'm just saying it because I want to make a point here. So most human beings, including sincere non-Muslims, would agree with the Ridda, Islamic apostasy law, if it is presented to them properly. It facilitates cohesion and prevents harm in this life and the next. I'll come to this in a second.
Wait, what?
You're a classic case of why they are
What the
needed.
heck? This is his
They
response?
deter incoherent, traumatized ex-Muslims who are pro-genocide. Look at this. Now, there is so much to unpack
This
in
is so stupid
in these two
and insane.
parts here that are just so
Yeah, we're gonna have to
ridiculously,
go through this.
absolutely retarded. Okay. He says most human beings, including sincere non-Muslims, would agree with the Ridda, Islamic apostasy law, if it is presented to them properly. It facilitates cohesion and prevents harm in this life and the next. First off, I want to ask you, which sincere non-Muslim cares about what you believe about the afterlife? That is just a minor point here. It's so stupid, but he actually did include that by saying in the next. However, that's just so dumb. It doesn't make any sense. However, the other part is, Hamza Tortoise, please find me one sincere non-Muslim. Find me one sincere non-Muslim.
Yeah.
Who actually says, oh yeah, no doubt, I totally agree. And I totally consider it reasonable that people who leave Islam should be executed. That people who leave Islam and publicly say that they left Islam should be executed. Yeah, makes complete sense.
Hey, AP, matter of
One
fact,
person. Find me one person.
This is the perfect opportunity, AP. This is the perfect opportunity because you're challenging him to a debate, right? So, Hamza, you could pick anyone else in the world, any one of your friends, anyone that you're hooking up with. It could be a girl. You could be one of the girls you're hooking up with, and so on. Doing your little mutta marriages while publicly claiming no, you don't believe in that stuff when obviously you do. Could be one of those. Could be one of your, maybe Smiles to Jenna can take a break from graping Ali Dawa in the mouth. Maybe Ali Dawa can take a break from being graped in the mouth. Hijab, any of these guys, any Golden Showers himself, any of these guys that you want to bring on with you, and we'll sit here and have a nice, friendly discussion where you will have an opportunity to lay out your case for sincere non-Muslims on why they should support the death penalty for apostasy. And we'll of course present the opposition view, and then we'll let people speak. We'll let people speak on whether they're convinced that Islamic apostasy laws, publicly beheading anyone who has the courage to realize, wait a minute, Muhammad's a false prophet. I'm not following this guy. Why that's a good idea.
David, continue talking. I think you have a lot of stuff to say on this. I'll be right back.
Anyway, guys. Isn't it weird that you keep having these Dawa guys make these kinds of claims, and when we give them an opportunity to prove it, they never will, not in a million years. So Muhammad Hijab, in a recent live stream we went through, Muhammad Hijab said what? He gave his arguments for why Islam is true. And what were his reasons? His top two were, but Islam teaches monotheism, which guess what? That's monotheism. That's not Islam. In other words, if you believe in one God, that doesn't mean you believe that it's okay to bang little girls because Muhammad said it. But anyway, his arguments were Islam teaches monotheism, so it must be true. Does he actually believe that? If someone came along today and said, I'm a prophet and I preach there's one God, would Muhammad Hijab believe that's any evidence that this guy's a prophet? No, zero. Why? Because Islam is all about one guy. It's all about Muhammad. They pretend it's about God and about all these other things. No, it's about building your life around the ramblings of one particular guy, right? So one, Muhammad Hijab does not even believe that someone saying there's one God is proof that he's a prophet. He never would believe that, not in a million years. He said it about Muhammad because he's got nothing else. And his number two is even worse, and it's even less than nothing because it actually goes in the opposite direction. His number two argument was Muhammad's character proves that he's a prophet. So Muhammad, a guy who had sex with a prepubescent 9-year-old girl, a guy who told his followers they could have 4 wives while he had at least 9, a guy who took the wife of his own adopted son after causing the divorce by lusting after her, a guy who bought, owned, sold, and traded black African slaves, and whose followers institutionalized the African slave trade long before the United States even existed. A guy who got caught banging his sex slave in his wife Hafsa's bed, swore an oath that he would never do it again, then came back and said, oops, Allah told me to break my oath and go back to banging my sex slave. This is the guy whose character is so amazing that he has to be a prophet. Those are the arguments. And what did Muhammad Hijab say when he finished his case for Islam? He said, it's ironclad. It's ironclad. Really? Would Muhammad Hijab ever defend that ironclad claim against any critic, any knowledgeable critic in the world? No, he wouldn't. Not in a million years. Hamza Tzortzis is making a claim right now. It's the chest thumping, guys. They say this thing because they know their followers will go, oh, really? Hamza Tzortzis says that even non-Muslims would think that killing apostates is a good idea. We say, okay, let's put that to the test. Let's put that little theory to the test. And never in a trillion years would they do it. Never in a trillion years would they put it to the test.
Never.
So they just make these claims. It's all posturing. We started off the show by saying it's all a show. It's all a show. It's all deception. It's all tricking. It's all manipulation tactics. That's all these guys have anymore. They have nothing other than threats and manipulation. And anytime they pretend they have something else, they say, yeah, come on. We say, hey, come on. Yeah, bring that over. Let's discuss that. No, we can't. This is a joke, man. It's a joke. It's crumbling. It's crumbling. Hamas is about to be completely crushed. The Ummah is about to be completely humiliated by their complete inability to do anything. These guys know it's about to fall apart. What are they doing? They're going all in on he's doing what Ali Dawah said, right? It's like, well, people's going to convert because of our intolerance. Once Ali Dawah acknowledged that all their old arguments have failed and that there's no argument anymore, it was, well, people's going to convert because of our intolerance. And what does Hamza do? What's Hamza do? Yeah, that's why we're going to kill you all. But, well, you know what kind of disguise it? This is pathetic, man. This is giant pathetic. This is absolutely pathetic.
Yeah. Then he continues and says, you're a classic case of why they are needed. The apostate law.
You're sick.
You're sick.
You're sick. Classic.
They deter incoherent.
Deter.
They deter incoherent, traumatized ex-Muslims who are pro-genocide.
Wait, so hey, AP, are you deterred by these threats that they're going to kill you?
Nope.
No, it seems like this is one of the main things that encourages ex-Muslims to speak out.
Come at me. Hamza Tzortzis, where in the world are you? I went to London. Okay.
Went to London. Walking down the street with a shirt that said Muhammad was gay. What do you guys do? Nothing.
I was in London, man. I was in London.
Standing out in front of your mosque.
In London. Where are you? I'm not deterred. But they deter incoherent, traumatized ex-Muslims who are pro-genocide. Of course, that's a very good accusation. Hey, Hamza Tzortzis, you are pro-genocide. You're pro-genocide. You are pro-genocide. You support the genocide of October 7. You support the genocides made by Muhammad and his companions and his leaders and his followers and all that. You support the genocide that Muhammad prophesied, which Hamas also reiterates, which is that the Jews will be killed in the future.
By the way,
And even the rocks and trees will say, "There's a Jew behind me. Come and kill him." So you are the pro-genocide guys. I'm
Yeah,
the pro-genocide. If you want to play the moral high ground here and say, "Oh, you are pro-genocide," this just proves because you are pro-genocide that the apostasy laws make sense. I'm sorry. Don't insult my intelligence. Don't insult people's intelligence, Hamza Tortoise.
Yeah.
Don't act like we are all Muslims. Don't act like we are all on Al-Dawa's level of intellectual capabilities. Don't act like we are all collectively on the IQ numbers that we recently have seen in Gaza. Don't act like we are on your level, okay? Don't do this idiotic, ridiculous nonsense. If I say, "Oh yeah, I absolutely think anyone who preaches Islam should be executed," and you then come out there and you go against my ideology because of my preaching that all who preach Islam should be executed, and I then say, "Look, you see how hostile they are. This is the reason why they should be executed," this would be extremely highly illogical. Highly illogical. It would be very fallacious in reasoning. You should be aware of this, Mr. Tortoise. But you have the brain of a tortoise, and plus you also accuse me of being pro-genocide, Mr. Tortoise. Mr. Tortoise, I want to say one thing, and I want to reiterate this again and again, Mr. Tortoise. Mr. Tortoise, when I was in Israel, I became aware of one thing and one thing alone. And Mr. Tortoise, you will agree with me on this, because you know it is true. Because your people know it is true. It is that people in Israel, it is that Israelis, that Jews value life. They love life. They like to preserve life. You, on the other hand, including your Hamas terrorists and anybody else who helps them, who are also terrorists, you value death. You love death. You love death. This is why it is a very, very well-known slogan by now, which is, "We love death the way you love life." Or weren't those also the words that were said by the 7/7 attackers in the UK? That we love death as you love life. This is your view. You know that this is true. You know that as Muslims, you know that in Islam you don't value life. You don't value the preservation of life. You don't love life. You look forward to death. As also your best friend Mohammed Hijab has said, "We look forward to death. We love death. We don't care about death. We love death. We love death." Israelis love life. In this current war that is ongoing and in the entire conflict, you have two sides. One of them cares about life, one of them cares about death. One of them wants to preserve life, the other wants to cause death. One of them wants to live, the other wants to die. One of them wants to give life and preserve life, the other wants to take lives. You are on the side that wants to take lives. You don't value life. You don't love life. You don't appreciate life. In fact, you consider it a weakness to love life. So why in the world would you make an argument here on genocide, on living versus dying collectively? You don't even care about life. You want your people to die. You want to send them to their deaths, to fight an ideological war against the enemy that doesn't love death. You believe in death. You like death. You want ex-Muslims like me also to be killed. And then you want to justify it by saying, look, their response, their hostility just shows that we are right when we say they should be killed. Maybe just stop wanting to kill people, Hamza Tortoise. Muslims. Maybe just stop wanting to kill people, right? Maybe just stop preaching death. Stop teaching each other that everyone else should be executed. Stop teaching in your mosques, in your institutions, in your gatherings that people need to be killed, that there is a war that needs to be continued. This is why the Muslim world is where it is. This is why you are where you are. This is why you fight against Israel, against the Jews, who are significantly ahead of you in every single way, because you people, what you think is not, oh, how should we further develop ourselves? What should we learn? How should we preach? What should we do to preserve life? No, what you are always worried about is, oh, the prophecies, they will come true, and soon there is going to be the fight, and we should always make sure that we fight, and that we enforce our laws and our morality, and kill those who oppose, and punish those who offend us. You even hate other Muslims. You even hate and want to kill other Muslims. You are all about death. So spare me the whole crocodile tears, the whole pro-genocide. Your religion is genocide. Islam is genocide.
Hey, you should start up that catchphrase, man. Islam is genocide. Oh, or make it Islam is literally genocide.
Yes.
Get the hell out of here!
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say, Mr. Tortoise.
No,
Thank you.
it's not enough, man. I know you ranted for like 10 minutes, but I mean, think about this. What is he? Hey, AP, would we be willing to have a discussion with our good friend Hamza on genocide?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's have a discussion about that.
He doesn't want it.
Guys, would he in a million years actually engage in a discussion where we're actually going to look at the definition of genocide and whether what's happening in Gaza is a genocide? And if he's going to say that's a genocide, what happens when we look at the battles of Muhammad and the battles for 14? If you're going to identify going after terrorists who are hiding among women and children, and you say, oh, if you're going after those terrorists who are hiding behind women and children, that's genocide. Okay, I think pretty much every Islamic battle in history is going to qualify as genocide. But think about the insanity here. What can you actually say that you're calling genocide in Gaza? You're saying, oh, whatever the numbers are now, 35,000, let's say 35,000 dead, but somewhere between a 1-to-1 civilian to combatant ratio, somewhere between a 1-to-1 and 2-to-1 ratio, civilian to combatant, depending on whose numbers you go with. If you're going to say 30-some thousand people dying because you're hunting terrorists who killed a bunch of your people and then ran and hid, if you're saying that's genocide, how many people does this guy want to kill? AP, how many people globally, if this guy got his global caliphate, how many people does this guy want dead? Many millions, right?
Yep.
He wants to exterminate the entire global population of ex-Muslims. He wants them all dead. And keep in mind, guys, it would not stop there. People like me, blasphemers and so on. If you're going with Islam, Hindus, they're dead. Atheists, they're dead. Christians and Jews are supposed to be given people of the book status where we get to become dhimmis, we get to be subjugated. Other people convert or die. This guy would literally be exterminating over half of the world's population if he were in charge. And he's saying AP supports genocide when this guy would exterminate literally what? 80% of the world's population, 70, 80% of the world's population. If because there would be people, even among the dhimmis, there would be people who refuse to submit. This guy wants to exterminate most of the world's population. He's accusing AP of supporting genocide for saying that Israel does need to go after Hamas and make sure they can't do that stuff again. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. What does he do? He makes it sound like he's the good and reasonable one in all of this. Well, if you actually pointed this out, that, yeah, there's a reason we have to go around chopping all these heads off of all these people who think for themselves. Even the non-Muslims, they'd agree with us. They'd say, yeah, that's a brilliant idea. Guys, this guy wants to kill hundreds of millions. No, this guy wants billions of people dead in the name of his stupid, fake, child molesting prophet. And everyone else who opposes the killing of billions of people, they're the bad guys. They're the evil ones. They're the ones. And matter of fact, they're so evil for not wanting these guys to kill the billions of people that they want to kill that people like AP just have to be executed. There's a reason. He says it right there. See, this is the reason we have to kill people like you. There's a reason we have to kill people like you. You stand in the way of the terrorists who want to establish a caliphate and slaughter all these people. You stand in the way, and that's genocide. It's genocide to stand in the way of our terrorists. Freaking clown. It's a clown show, man. Dawa's a clown show.
now is a very, very important part of this whole response that he gives to me. Once again, we're talking about Hamza Tortoise here. A very important part on which I don't want to spend too much time. However, it's very important, and I want to just point out one thing. He says Islamic laws are a mercy for all. Sure.
Yeah.
For example, they prevent pro-genocide maniacs like yourself from having a voice. Yes, pro-genocide voices must be silenced.
When he's the one calling for genocide, and you're not.
Now, what he's saying here is that I am pro-genocide by his definition, which is why, yes, I deserve to be punished. I deserve to be cut off. I deserve to be executed and silenced. Here, there's just one problem here. David and I just lengthily talked about how Hamza Tortoise is actually the one who is genocidal. Right? So if it goes by us and our definition, and by many others who will see that Hamza Tortoise and Islamists like them in general have genocidal ideas, if we now decide that they are actually the ones who are genocidal, and if we then take his preventive measures and say, yes, we should silence and execute pro-genocide maniacs, that would mean that we would have to execute Hamza Tortoise and people like him. That's what you get when you just throw these words around and take the moral high ground like that and say, oh, yeah, of course, you deserve to be silent. You deserve to be silenced. You deserve to be punished. You deserve to be executed. I'm sorry. If I take your standards, by common sense, you probably deserve to be executed.
Yeah, and even
Hope you
if
enjoy that.
even if you weren't, even if you didn't put it in terms of killing people who support this and so on, even if you just said, we're going to silence you, you're going to be silenced, we'll arrest you or something like that. For what? For you have an ideology that's calling for the deaths of at least many, many millions of people, if not billions of people, depending on your view of what would happen to people like Hindus and so on. But you actually advocate, even based on what he said in the tweet, that he advocates the public executions of ex-Muslims. That's many, many millions of people. That's millions and millions of people he is calling for to be publicly executed. All right. So just based on that, according to his logic, Western governments should be able to say, you and anyone like you, we're arresting, we're throwing in prison because we have to silence you because you are calling for millions of deaths. We can't allow that. We're gonna silence you by locking you up. What would they? Oh, we're victims. We're being oppressed. You're literally the ones saying that people have to be silenced if they have really, really bad things to say, right? He's saying it. I just said it a little bit ago. There's no concept of consistency. It's when we're in power, we will control everything you say, and we'll just make up rules about, oh, you're saying something we disagree with, so of course we have to silence you. But if you are the stronger group in society and say, we're going to silence you because you're calling for millions of deaths, and oh, what? We're being oppressed. Help, we're being oppressed. It's a freaking clown religion, man. It's a total clown religion.
Alhamdulillah. Then he advertises for his little
Momo
thing
the clown.
Says
hey, hold on. That's a new character. I want that. Momo the clown. It's Muhammad dressing up as a clown for children's birthday parties. Momo the clown. Okay, just wanted that on record. Go ahead.
Then he advertises for his little course here. Says you should try it out. Then he says, give it a try. You may have your traumas addressed. It is very clear past trauma is your issue. I don't know why he wrote past trauma like this. You have no intellectual position that can stand scrutiny.
Who are the ones who are saying, let's get together and discuss this? Who? Us, 100% of the time. Him, 0% of the time. Isn't it amazing though?
I can guarantee you.
He's saying, hey, if we presented this to neutral viewers, they'd be on our side. We say, okay, let's do that. He says, you don't have a position that can withstand scrutiny. Fine, expose us. Let's have this discussion. Get one of your boyfriends on here, girlfriends, whoever on here and we'll have this discussion and the people can decide. It would never in a million years do it. This is just like
No.
Muhammad Hijab saying, it's ironclad, it's ironclad. No one could refute this. And the stupid followers go, wow, our guys are so confident. Everyone's scared of them. When we're literally the guys saying, hey, let's get together and discuss this. And then, no, we would never get together and discuss this. Bunch of lying
I'm not going to
cowards.
I'm not going to invite Hamza Tortoise for a discussion. I'm going to do it much better. Hamza Tortoise, you are replying to me since I am obviously here having an influence and getting a reaction here, which you take seriously and respond to. I am one of those people in question that you think should be executed under your Islamic law. I'm an apostate, right? In fact, this is serious. I usually don't depict myself as a very big and important guy, but this is actually quite important because I have the biggest English language ex-Muslim apostate channel on YouTube. This is obviously very important. It's not just something that you can ignore. It's not just something that you can minimalize and all that.
AP is the representative of and spokesman of all ex-Muslims globally. In your face.
I decide what every ex-Muslim has to do and does. So obviously this is very important. So I hereby, Mr. Tortoise, I challenge you to an actual real debate, not a discussion, not an environment where you or I are in charge, but an actual debate in a moderated environment. And I will even happily travel and come to you to London. I will come to you to London and have this debate in person with you, Hamza Tortoise, where you can then debate with me the two issues, which are apostasy laws and being an ex-Muslim. So let's say apostasy laws and whether Islam is true or not. Since apostasy laws are one of the main issues, and my intellectual position, I guess, would be my rejection of Islam here. So let's say apostasy laws and whether Islam is true or not. I challenge you, Mr. Hamza Tortoise. I challenge you to a debate in a moderated, neutral environment. You can do it over there in London. I will happily travel and come there and debate this with you. Do you accept or not? We know very well you will not accept because you are a coward and a weasel.
Yeah, and
prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, he can. Guys, notice all you Hamza fans out there. Notice very easy to prove AP wrong here. Just of course, yeah. Let's set it up. That's it. That would prove AP wrong about Hamza being a lying, sniveling coward. But here's the amazing part, AP. Here's, of course, we know he's not going to do it, not in a trillion years. But here's the amazing thing: if he were challenging you to debate and you said no or ignored him, all of his fans would say, you see, AP is a coward. He's a coward. He's too scared to face Hamza. But when you issue the challenge to them and they refuse, then it's, oh, yes, because you're not important enough or because you're too evil. But it's not. It's not because their guy's a coward 100% of the time.
Yeah. All those people who like to clip things, please clip that challenge, publish it. I'm going to take it and publish it here as soon as I see somebody clip it in a proper way, or just send it to me. I'll publish it right here. Challenge to Hamza Tortoise. I'll do that right here. I then responded to his pathetic response by saying, let's see, view quotes. By saying, oh, wait a minute, what did Harris Sultan say? Most human beings, including sincere non-Muslims, would agree with the Islamic apostasy law if it's presented to them properly. So by his logic, most human beings would agree to kill Muslim converts. Muzzy arguments get dumber by the day. So I responded and said, so many words just to reiterate, you want ex-Muslims killed under Islam. Spare me your genocidal crocodile tears. You love to side with those who want blood, death, and destruction in this world, and then you play the victim. Your religion is Islam is the religion of death. That's what I said, and he didn't respond after that.
Coward.
So coward. However, he also, further made another tweet here, where he said, For those who have not seen my response to the incoherent ramblings of detractors, he then made a follow-up post here and said, yesterday I posted about my commitment to Islamic laws as understood by the pious predecessors at the four schools of thought. The majority of Muslims believe in these laws we affirm, and that they are the greatest manifestations of mercy and justice. Was not surprised by the misrepresentations from apostates, by which he is referring to me and others, and liberal academics. Most of the responses I have seen are summarized by Professor Gabriel Reynolds' opportunism and misrepresentation. Amongst other things, he framed my post on apostasy as a life-threatening. The following are some points to consider. I believe they are sufficient to refute the responses I have seen so far. Okay, so apparently, from his response here that he's making, we are supposed to understand that his stance on apostasy laws is not life-threatening.
That's what I'm confused about. If I'm saying, yeah, if you're an ex-Muslim, we're going to execute you. We're going to chop your head off. Don't worry, it's going to be, it's going to be official. It's going to get the stamp of approval of a judge. But yeah, we are going to chop your head off. How is that not life-threatening? Like, that is the definition of life-threatening. I'm going to chop your head off. That is, does he think chopping someone's head off is not life-threatening? Is that his great knowledge of science? He thinks chopping someone's head off does not threaten that person's life. And the only possible thing he could say in defense of this is, well, I'm not saying like right this second. I'm saying in the state that we're working towards. That's still life-threatening. If I say, hey, my group is advancing into your area, and once we get there, we're going to chop all your heads off. How is that? On what planet is that not life-threatening? This is nuts, man.
So he says Islamic law does not condone vigilantism. The accused must go through an Islamic court of law under an Islamic government. This law cannot be applied in secular societies and in secular modern nation states with majority Muslim populations. Fine. Okay. What in the hell does it matter?
Yeah, just to clarify, AP. So the accused must go through an Islamic court. And AP, once everything has gone through the Islamic court and the person has been declared an apostate, what's the outcome? Is the outcome life-threatening or not? Chopping the head off.
Life-threatening.
Isn't
not life-threatening? It's directly the lights out.
I find this amazing, right? Everyone's misrepresenting me. They're saying that me advocating chopping your head off is somehow life-threatening. What? This is exactly why we have to execute all you people, because you think that chopping your head off is life-threatening. And then you go around misrepresenting it. You go around misrepresenting us, saying, oh yeah, just because they want to chop millions of heads off, that means they're threatening our lives. This is why we have to kill you. But don't worry, it's going to be the judge. It's going to be the judge. It's not vigilante. It's not vigilante. No, it's not vigilante. Stop saying that. Stop saying it's going to be a judge who chops your head off. But it's not going to be life-threatening. Liar. My goodness, what is this?
Mr. Tortoise.
Guys, this is one of the best dawah guys they have. This is one of the best dawah guys. I changed my mind. We're going to chop all your heads off. Hey, that's violent. What? How dare you? This is why we have to kill you. See, he's talking about killing him. What? You're misrepresenting me. I said the judge is going to do it. This is nuts, man. Oh, boy.
Mr. Tortoise, here is a scenario for you. X believes whoever converts to Islam should be executed. You object. This is violent and wrong. X clarifies. Vigilantes don't carry out the execution. A court does. Mr. Tortoise. Mr. Tortoise. Mr. Tortoise. Mr. Tortoise. Please stop displaying your imbecility. So, Mr. Tortoise, in this scenario where X believes whoever converts to Islam should be executed, and you then come and say, this is violent and wrong, and X then clarifies and says, no, vigilantes don't carry out the execution. A court does. then you are executed. Do you consider the problem solved here, Mr. Tortoise?
Yes, and if you don't see it, then this is why we have to execute you.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Sorry. Makes sense. Do you think this looks reasonable, Mr. Tortoise?
This is the mind of a Da'i right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is how this is supposed to go.
You absolute idiots.
And again, guys, this is not some random. It's one thing when you find a random stupid person on Twitter. You can have a stupid person from every background give you stupid responses like Hamza does. The point is, in Islam, you go up to the highest levels of dawah and they're like this. It's like as stupid as you could imagine, beyond what you could imagine. That's what you get at the highest levels of dawah, this sort of insane thinking.
Yeah, this is what these idiots think is totally a good explanation.
And the people who think like this, the people who think in this insane way, they think they make sense. But they're the ones who think they are assigned by God with the task of who lives and who dies in the world, and who gets to bang whose little girl and so on, and who gets to take your wife as the sex slave and so on. That's what they think. That because they think like this, they get to control the rest of the world's population. We're saying, guys, look at how these guys think. We don't think these guys should be controlling anything. These guys shouldn't control an ice cream truck. Nothing. These guys should be controlling nothing in the world if they think like this. And then we're the bad guys. We're the bigots. Not bigots.
Number 2, there is no mind control or an Islamic police seeking to know the innermost beliefs of people. If someone leaves Islam internally without professing it, the law does not apply. Now, okay, and once again, this guy actually makes it look like this is a reasonable response.
Yeah, just keep your mouth shut.
Are you kidding me?
Just keep your mouth shut.
Let's go back to the scenario where I say, for example, in this scenario, I say everyone who converts to Islam must be executed. However, this is not bad because we don't just go and try to look into people's brains to see if they converted to Islam or not. If you don't say anything, if you just keep it to yourself, you'll be fine. You'll survive. So, no problem. Do you think this is a good response, Mr. Tortoise, and all the other bloodthirsty Muslim apologists? Do you really think that is a good response? If you guys are so confident that these are good answers, why don't you Islamic apologists, why don't you Hamza Tortoise and your friends, why don't you go out into the streets of London to Speaker's Corner or to some square, arrange an event where you put out major signs saying we are here to explain why apostates should be executed. And then you explain to everyone in public, oh no, actually, yeah, we don't know what everyone believes, yeah. If you want to survive, just don't tell anybody, yeah. If you keep it to yourself, you'll be unharmed. But if you go outside and you tell people you left Islam, then you'll be killed, yeah. Do that. Let's see if that works. If you guys are so confident that this makes sense, please go and do that. Imbeciles.
Matter of fact, they should. If he really believes this, he should do it like Steven Crowder style. Show up to a college campus with a big sign that says, "Ex-Muslims should be executed. Prove me wrong," and just have the conversation there. Now, keep in mind, you'll be dealing with the stupidest people imaginable, but that will give you an idea of what they think about whether you have a good case for executing people like AP or Harris Sultan or Nuria, Infidel Noodle, whether all these people have to die. Abdullah Samir, do all these people need to die? Let's see what kind of case you have. He says people would agree with him.
3, Muslims living in a Western or Muslim country are forbidden to take the law into their own hands. Once again, completely irrelevant, connected to number 1 already.
Yeah, they're trying to transform Western nations into Muslim nations.
Yes. If you transform the society by spreading Islam and making everyone adopt Islam, and then changing the society and its laws into Islamic laws, then apostasy will be punishable by death? Yes or no? Yes, we know the answer. So what in the world does this matter? Oh, yeah, for now, you'll be all right. I don't care, man. I don't care. I don't want your dirty, filthy religion imposing this stuff on people and killing them. In any case, no matter what the circumstances are. If you want to live with it or die with it, go and live and die somewhere where that is the norm. Keep it out of societies where killing and dying for beliefs is not the norm. How about that? For a starter, get the hell out of the UK, for example. What are you doing there? Or be honest
They
with the people.
love that UK, don't they? They all, we love Sharia. We love Sharia. Why aren't you in Afghanistan? Because we love the UK better.
Or be honest with the people of the UK and tell them what you actually believe and what you actually advocate for. Professor Reynolds framing is self-defeating. If he perceives the laws of a society that he does not live in to be threatening, then he should feel constantly threatened by secular society. The laws in modern secular states outnumber the laws in pre-modern nation, many of which he may disagree with. Violations of such laws, resisting them, can result in him being shot by an officer of the law. It is unfortunate that he implicitly framed my post in the worst possible manner. Completely unnecessary, incoherent rambling in his own words.
I'm a victim.
Yeah.
I'm a victim.
This is so
I'm being
ridiculous.
victim. I'm being oppressed again.
He's basically saying, "Oh, if you're misrepresenting me, and if you violated your laws, then the law would also deal with you." Excuse me, none of that matters. We're talking about your specific law of executing apostates. Okay?
Yeah.
Stop
What
distracting
is the
people.
correct manner in which to frame? Yeah, all these ex-Muslims, if I get to power, they're all going to be executed, and Ali Dawa is going to be eating popcorn. What's the correct way to frame that, Hamza? And by the way, isn't it like insane? Like he thinks he gets to. We don't care what you say about framing your stupid post, moron. We'll frame your post however we want. You're the one advocating slaughtering millions of people. We're not going to, let's frame it in the best possible way. We'll even use the Arabic term so no one knows what we're talking about. Gosh, man. What is this, man? These guys sit there running around the UK. We're going to kill everybody. We're going to kill it. We're going to kill so many people. We're going to take them. We're going to take their wives as wool booty. That's what we're going to do. And we say, hey, this is bad. They go, they're attacking us. They're attacking our ideas. This is why we have to kill them. This is why we have to kill all these people. Because they oppose us. Bunch of crybaby lunatics, man.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. 5. Islamic laws have their nuances, preconditions, and exemptions, which classical scholars were aware of. It refuses to be reduced to a caricature of violence, regardless of the professor's attempts. Hamza taught us, we don't give a damn, because we have already clarified. We have already clarified that, yes, under Islamic law, historically seen, there are different things taken into consideration, like if the apostate was always a Muslim, or if he converted to Islam at some point, should he be treated differently, yes or no? Should he be given 3 days or a certain amount of time to repent, yes or no? If he went too far and was too offensive during his apostasy, well, should he be forgiven if he repents, yes or no? Most would agree that if he went too far in being offensive, even if he repents, he would still be executed for the publicity of it, and so on. None of this matters. We don't care. We don't care, Hamza Tortis. We don't care. What we care about is apostasy, death. We don't care about the bits of the trivia and the specific aspects of each case. We don't care. Apostasy, death. That's
we're going to kill you, but it's nuance. We're going to kill you with nuance. See, the blade we used to chop your head off, it's got nuance written down it. So there's nuance. There's nuance that we're going to kill you with. My goodness.
And here, this is actually going to be very interesting. 6, citing this law as unfair or unequal because Islamic law allows Christians to leave their religion to embrace Islam, yet forbids Muslims to leave Islam, falsely assumes a secular or liberal presupposition that all religions are equal or that it is an individual choice. Firstly, there is no violation of the equality principle. Similar things must be treated similarly. Dissimilar things must be treated dissimilarly. Leaving Islam, the truth, for another religion, falsehood, is not the same as leaving Christianity, which is falsehood, for Islam, the truth. The liberal will assume that the two religions are the same. This is a false assumption, which we can prove.
Really? Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, I agree.
Prove.
I agree. They're not the same. But if you can prove that one is the truth, would you love to see that, AP? And in fact, didn't you just challenge him to debate that he can
Yes.
prove that it's true? You just
Yes.
challenged him. Obviously, he's saying he can prove it. You agreed to give him the opportunity to prove it. So obviously you're about to get a phone call saying, "Yes, let's do it, AP. Let me show you the proof."
Obviously
What a
not going
clown.
to happen.
Is it, dude? I find this absolutely amazing. They think that just saying that it's the truth, when all their arguments have turned out to be lies, according to them. They acknowledge that it was all a lie, that the Dawa arguments were all a lie, the perfect preservation, the scientific miracles. They acknowledge now that all that was lies. And we say, what is your new argument? Well, we're going to chop your head off. This is the truth. Can you show us that it's the truth? No, but we'll chop your head off if you leave it. My goodness.
I can prove that Islam is false. Hamza told us I can prove that Islam is false, and I think you're a coward for
It's false. It's a lie. See, we
for not
said it.
agreeing
We
to
said
debate
it. Just saying it makes it true, right? Just saying something makes it true. You could just say something. You don't have to prove anything, right? Hamza?
Alhamdulillah.
Bunch of lies.
Therefore, the debate shifts from the apostasy law to the veracity of Islam. I welcome that debate. Oh yeah, cool.
Liar, you lying coward. You would never
Hope
take
to have
that
that with
debate.
you.
You would
Hope to have that
never
with you.
take that debate. You lying coward. I said it here.
Secondly, the atomistic or individualistic approach is false. Muslims are under no obligation to adopt such an approach. In fact, theories on social influence and conformity reject such an approach. In a nutshell, human beings are not merely individuals. The choices they make impact society. All of this, I want to
Irrelevant.
reduce to something very, very, very simple here, which is that secular or liberal presupposition that all religions are equal or that it is an individual choice. Hamza Tortis here is saying, yes, we know that under Islam, leaving Islam, which is the truth, and joining Christianity, which is the falsehood, is punishable by death, while leaving Christianity, which is falsehood, and joining Islam, which is the truth, is not punishable by death. But this is okay because we know for a fact that Islam is true and Christianity is false, which is why we will happily execute those who leave Islam, but not execute those who leave Christianity. This is what Hamza Tortis here is saying. Dear Christians, are you satisfied with this explanation? Do you think, oh yeah, well,
Oh, good point.
yeah, well, it makes
good
sense.
point. Well, now you put it
Isn't-
like that. Now you put
Yeah.
it like that.
So your fellow Christians, if they leave, will be rewarded. But if Muslims leave and join your religion, they will be executed. And of course, if you're a reasonable Christian, you would also agree that this is totally reasonable, as he put it in his
That's what he
initial
says.
tweet.
Guys, this is pathetic. And AP, this is what I mean, we've been talking about for years now, but when Dawah shifted from trying to convince non-Muslims to convert to Islam, and it shifted to trying to keep Muslims from leaving Islam, and then it all became just posturing and chest thumping and bragging and so on. Say, this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. Look at this. Any non-Muslim, any Christian, any Jew, any atheist, any ex-Muslim reading this looks at this and says, this is freaking idiotic. This is the most idiotic nonsense we've ever seen in our entire lives. We believe in this, therefore we'll kill you for leaving it, but we don't believe in your thing, therefore there's no penalty for leaving that thing. So the entire the entire thing is circular. We're starting with the assumption that Islam is true, and then basing the rest of what proceeds on that assumption that it's true. But then it's pretending that, oh yeah, we can defend this all day long. I welcome that debate. He said it right there. I welcome that debate. Would this guy in a million years debate whether Muhammad's a true prophet or whether Islam is true? No, he won't touch it unless he's going against someone he knows doesn't know anything. But there's no way he would defend that. There's no way he would step on stage and defend Muhammad as a prophet against an actual critic, a knowledgeable critic. He wouldn't do it. So what's the point of saying it? Well, again, this isn't meant for non-Muslims. This isn't, the real goal here is not convincing the non-Muslims. The non-Muslims are looking at this going, what? This is insane and stupid, and you're a liar. You're not willing to defend any of this. But the Muslims are looking at this going, wow, so strong. He's saying he welcomes the debate and Islam is the truth, and that's why we kill everyone. Yes, you see, we're strong. You're weak, guys. You're weak as water, which is why you have people like this. This is why you have people like this who are your main defenders, and why you're sitting there whining on college campuses and aligning with all the people that at the end of the day you'd want to kill. But you have no choice, because if they're stupid enough to join you, you'll cling to them. Please help us. Please help us. Complain about Jews all day, every day. Oh, man, Muhammad. This is your ummah. This is what you've accomplished in the world. Making a bunch of sniveling crybabies, thumping their chest, talking about all the people they're going to kill, but we'll never get to because our religion is crumbling from within. And this is the best they could do right now. Whining, and yeah, we're going to kill you, but don't cry. Oh, you're criticizing us. No, we're the victims. You're oppressing us. It's the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And this is the ummah in 2024. It only gets worse from here, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, it only gets worse from here.
Alhamdulillah. 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 I wanted to quickly look for something about vigilantism in Islam, under Islamic law.
Yeah. Hey, you know what it reminds me of? Since you're looking that up, I can go ahead and talk about that for a second. It wasn't the best movie. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Guys, remember the movie The Last Action Hero?
Nope.
It's back in the 1990s. Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Last Action Hero. Anyway, it's kind of a spoof on Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and the theme is they killed my favorite second cousin, right? And so he has to get revenge. But anyway, there's a scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger confronts the bad guy and starts beating the crap out of him and telling him why he's beating the crap out of him. And so it's like, you killed my favorite second cousin, and like slams the guy up against the wall. And he goes, and this is for my daughter's black eye. And he punches the guy's face. But the guy had also blown up Arnold's ex-wife's house. So he's beating the crap out of him for all this stuff. And then he grabs him and he goes, and this is for blowing up my ex-wife's house. And he goes, he slaps him he gives him a little slap on the hand. Right. But anyway, that's what I thought of when you're talking about the penalty for vigilantism, right? That little, look, we're going to beat you up and do all these horrible things to you for all these horrible crimes you've committed. Okay, what if I'm a vigilante who went and killed a bunch of people for leaving Islam? Oh, shame on you, vigilante. We're going to punish you now.
Yeah.
Bad vigilante. Bad. Don't do that again, vigilante. But if you do, well, you know what's going to happen. Bad vigilante. You killed a bunch of ex-Muslims. Shame on you. You don't have the authority to do that. Bad. That's what you have to worry about. Powerful.
So I'm not sure if the horrible quality of this book makes it easy to read here. I have it here physically. I always thought I should get one of those cameras that point down at a book that I could put additionally on the screen to highlight things that I want to.
You're supposed to be high tech. You're supposed to be high tech, not a loser.
Yeah. But so this is from the book Reliance of the Traveler, which is a very well-known book of Islamic law. I'm taking this because it is very accessible in the English language. The almost complete translation of this is available, although some parts, including things about slavery, for example, or female genital mutilation, are not translated. They're kind of missing for different reasons. But so it says, leaving Islam is the ugliest form of unbelief, kufr, and the worst. It may come about through sarcasm, as when someone is told, trim your nails, it is sunnah, and he replies, I would not do it even if it were, as opposed to when some circumstance exists which exonerates him of having committed apostasy, such as when his tongue runs away with him, or when he is quoting someone or says it out of fear. What a stupid text. So I want to get to a certain part here, which is In such a case, it is obligatory for the caliph or his representative to ask him to repent and return to Islam. If he does, it is accepted from him, but if he refuses, he's immediately killed. If he's a free man, no one besides the caliph or his representative may kill him. If someone else kills him, the killer is disciplined. Definition in 017, when we'll get there in a second, for arrogating the caliph's prerogative and encroaching upon his rights, as this is one of his duties. So this is the reason here. You will find this in many Islamic scholarly books on Islamic law, Islamic morality, but this is basically what it is. If someone else kills the apostate, and apostasy is the worst thing, needs to be executed. But if somebody else beside the caliph kills him, then that person needs to be disciplined. That's it. That's it. Disciplined. And why? Not because he's doing a horrible thing by murdering somebody. No, it's because he's doing the job that is actually the caliph's job, which is disrespectful, for which he needs to be disciplined. Oh, so bad, so bad. And we will now get in a minute on to defining what exactly is meant by discipline. Don't expect much. There is no indemnity for killing an apostate or any expiation, since it is killing someone who deserves to die. This is Islamic law, ladies and gentlemen. This is Islamic law, directly from the Islamic jurisprudential books here. There is no indemnity for killing an apostate or any expiation, since it is killing someone who deserves to die.
And so you're going with the Sharia manual here, Reliance of the Traveler.
Mm-hmm.
But even during the time of Muhammad, remember that story in Sunan Abu Dawud where a man brutally murdered the mother? It was a slave girl, but she was bad-mouthing Muhammad. She was the mother of his children. In other words, he'd been having sex with her and she'd had children with him. She bad-mouthed Muhammad. He stabbed her to death. When they find out that this woman had been stabbed to death, Muhammad's like, hey, what's going on here? There's been a murder. We need to get to the bottom of this. And then the man came forward and said, Muhammad, she kept talking trash about you. Muhammad said, oh, yeah. No punishment for this guy. What is that? That was vigilante justice. Whose right was that to decide whether this woman lives or dies? Yeah, well, that was supposedly like Muhammad's decision. The man just went full vigilante and slaughtered her. What was the penalty? Nothing. Why? Because she deserved to die, according to Islam. But not to worry, because Hamza sources says it's no problem.
Yeah. And here you have it. So we just read that if somebody takes matters into his own hands and kills an apostate, he needs to be disciplined. And it then referred us to 017, where disciplinary action is defined. It says here, someone who commits an act of disobedience to Allah Most High that entails neither a prescribed legal penalty nor expiation, such as bearing false witness, is disciplined to the extent the caliph deems appropriate. He exercises his own legal reasoning and does what he thinks should be done, whether imprisonment and beating, either one separately or mere verbal reprimand. He may not administer a more severe degree of punishment than what he feels is strictly necessary. So disciplinary action here taken against somebody who goes out and kills an apostate is supposed to be a quite mild thing. And the caliph should not go any further than what he thinks is absolutely strictly necessary. Disciplinary action may not reach the amount of the least prescribed legal penalty. For example, a free man may not receive 40 stripes. So it's quite obvious. If a person, without leaving it to the court, goes out and kills an apostate who, according to Islamic law, deserves to die, then that person is disciplined, not punished, just disciplined, and the disciplining should not go too far. And look at here. If the caliph sees fit not to take any disciplinary action, this is also permissible. This is also permissible. because the ruler is entrusted with using his own legal reasoning. He is in power. He is in charge. So if under proper circumstances, a vigilante Muslim goes out and kills somebody who has left Islam, if he goes out and kills someone who left Islam, and if he is then caught, the ruler in charge may very well say, okay, I decide to simply forgive this vigilante guy. In fact, you did a good job. You shouldn't have done it on your own. You should have left it to the authorities. But it's fine. I forgive you. That's it. The authorities can simply say that. So when Hamza Tortis here makes it look like, oh no, Islamic law absolutely forbids vigilantes from taking the law into their own hands, killing apostates, what he's meaning, what he's referring to is just this: that it's a little disrespectful behavior that just needs a little bit of disciplining, but shouldn't be punished harshly. That's it. That's all it is.
And I have to point out, that's what you get if you take the schools of Islamic jurisprudence as the authorities on this matter. I mean, just think about this. Suppose you're a Muslim. You read the Quran. The Quran claims to be perfectly clear, but it also says that you can only, you can only understand passages of the Quran by going outside of the Quran to other sources to learn the historical background and so on. And the Quran says things like you have to mindlessly obey all of Muhammad's decisions. I'm not joking. That's what it says. You can't have any resistance against anything Muhammad has decided. That's Surah 4, verse 65 of the Quran. So you go outside of the Quran to find Muhammad's decisions, and you have to mindlessly follow those. What does Muhammad say? If anyone leaves his Islamic religion, kill him. Where are you getting this has to go through the courts? And so where are you getting that from, that claim? Where are you getting that from, Muhammad? Yeah, you have Islamic rulers and Islamic schools of jurisprudence and so on saying that's the rule. If you're just reading, if anyone leaves his Islamic religion, kill him, and I have to follow everything Muhammad says, what are you going to do? Oh, let me go to the 4 schools. Well, who's the authority here? Who's the authority? Muhammad says what you have to do. Muhammad says what you have to do. In fact, in Sunan ibn Majah, Muhammad said, carry out Allah's penalties even against your own family members. So this could be your son or something like that. He left Islam. What's the penalty? Death, according to Muhammad. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to carry out the penalty even against your own family members. The point is, I think vigilante justice fits pretty comfortably with Muhammad's teachings, especially since people did engage in vigilante justice during his time and he was fine with it. So this is a situation where, yeah, you could say, hey, I'm going to follow. You got 2 options, ladies and gentlemen. You can say, hey, I'm going to follow the schools of Islamic jurisprudence, in which case I'm going to get a slap on the wrist for doing it. Or I can follow the example of Muhammad, which seems to actually encourage vigilante justice. And why would I be punished for that? Either way, there's not a lot standing in your way if you want to go on a killing spree.
In no case is it considered in Islam to be a horrible crime to go out and vigilante kill apostates, for example. In fact, it would be praised. It would be praised, and it would also not be considered an offense against Allah. So somebody who goes out and attacks and kills apostates and blasphemers is not expected to be like, oh no, I have committed a horrible crime. Allah will not forgive me. No, Allah would possibly reward you for what you have done.
And by the way,
Islam is blood and death.
Yeah, and think about this, AP, because we've actually seen during our times Muslims carrying out vigilante justice, trying to kill like Salman Rushdie and so on. What happens? These guys get treated like heroes. You've seen the comments when there's an attack against someone who's been criticizing Islam. What happens? Just read the comments after it happens. The person is flooded with praise. He's lionized as a hero. These are the people who don't believe in vigilante justice because they seem to love it when it actually happens. That's strange. It's almost like everything we're hearing is a total lie from these guys.
Alhamdulillah. Sankey said, hey, AP and Rasputin, after going to London, is Europistan more or less doomed than you expected? Interesting question. So when I went to London, I actually thought, hey, I like this city. It's quite fun. So it's very nice. Very
It's
very
happening.
nice. Place.
It's happening, man. It's hip.
Very nice place, very cool place. Oh, and of course the historical aspect, the whole European British aspect of the history of how the city is structured and the architecture and everything is fantastic. Absolutely beautiful city. However, a lot of stuff is going wrong and weird there, and there is a lot of Islamic influence and a lot of non-European change happening. In fact, I found out when I was there that apparently. I don't want to talk too much about demographics at the moment, but that London is soon going to be minority British white. So it's a very very interesting thing that is happening in London, and of course the loudest and most emboldened people out there when it comes to people who represent an ideology are the Islamists, which is very very unpleasant. I don't know. I would say that London and Europe are generally still about as doomed as I thought they are. That's it. That's where I want to leave it. Sheikh Mike Wingelinch, peace be upon me, said, just got back from London, full of kuffers, LGTVs, and women in tank tops, brothers sharing everything but their women. The West has fallen. It's over.
Yeah. So this is you've got Hamza, and Islam is the truly morally superior position. And we naturally go to the child bride issue there. But yeah, just keep in mind, according to his buddies, Hamza's own buddies, Ali Dawa and Muhammad Hijab, shame on Muslimas who won't share their husbands with their friends. As a good Muslimah, you're supposed to go get your friends to bang your husband with you.
Alhamdulillah. This is why we thought we need to do something about this and got these tattoos.
That's why we got all tatted up. See?
So we got these tattoos.
Yeah.
The cross of Jerusalem to revive the Crusades once again. That's what we do.
Hey, did you see this about a 50? I just saw this for the first time. 58-year-old Pakistani immigrant rammed car into Brooklyn yeshiva. He was trying to ram the Jewish students in Brooklyn.
When did that happen?
It was several hours ago because people were posting about it 3 hours ago, 5 hours ago. There's video footage of him trying to ram just Jewish students who are walking around. He's like circling in his car, trying to ram students.
New York Daily News says driver verbally assaults group and what? I can't read the freaking article. Interesting. I need to learn more about this.
Literally every post has the video.
I know, but I was just looking for news article.
Security camera. Wild stuff, man. Wild times. Wild times.
Wild times. Wild time.
And this goes back to what we're talking about as far as no concept of consistency in Islam. Because once again, what was the rule after every Islamic terrorist attack ever? We were told the exact same thing. But don't associate this with other Muslims. Don't blame other Muslims for what these Muslims do, which is never what we were doing. We're pointing out the Islamic basis for these terrorist attacks, but that got classified as, but you're saying you're accusing other Muslims of believing the same thing. And so how dare you associate other Muslims with this? And yet we find out Muslims, because of what's going on in Gaza, every Jew in the world is fair game. Every Jew anywhere is fair game.
Yeah.
Kira said no consistency.
Israeli embassy has been set on fire in Mexico too. Yeah, I saw that earlier. There was an attack on the Israeli embassy. Maniac screams, "I am gonna kill all the Jews," as he tries to run down students outside NYC Jewish school in anti-Semitic attack.
This just in from Hamza Tortoise. But where's the nuance in the framing of this? There needs to be nuance to describing the way this guy said he was going to kill all Jews and tried to ram them with his car in Brooklyn. There needs to be nuance to this. I mean, imagine.
Wait, what? Cops do not believe the attack is terror-related, and on Wednesday night did not have evidence he was tied to radical groups online. I mean, it is an act of terror.
I'm going to kill all the Jews. And I'm trying to ram Jews with my car. What? What terrorist attack?
Rabbi Twersky, who works at the yeshiva, said the commotion began when the driver tried to strike one of the boys while he was on his phone at the corner of Glenwood Road and East 55 Street. He then drove up the wrong side of East 56th Street and barreled toward a group of 30 to 40 students standing outside.
Hey.
What?
Shake Your Booty's nemesis could be Rabbi Twerksky. Get it?
Yes.
Twerksky, Shake Your
Yes.
Booty, and Rabbi Twerksky.
Yeah, that would be beast.
Classic. That would be the debate of all. That would be the debate that ends all debates.
Beast. Beast. Video shows unhinged driver. This is so unhinged, man. What the hell is this guy doing? It's the dumbest terrorist I've seen ever. What?
It looks like he got one of those former police cars. You can go buy those at auctions. You can get one of the police cars and they paint them white. After they take all the cop stuff off. Whoa.
LWS 446. LWS.
Aha! Jews got your license number. Jews got your license number. Nowhere to run now, sport. Better go hide in a Hamas tunnel.
This is the worst terrorist I've ever seen. What the hell? What is this
Pretty
guy gonna do?
lame. It's getting bad. I mean, seriously, Muslims, how do you think Allah's on your side against the Jews when this is what you come up with?
This is the dumbest terrorist I have ever seen. 58-year-old Asghar Ali, a Pakistani immigrant livery cab driver with a history of mental illness.
Always a history of mental illness. It's weird how they let all these people with histories of mental illness go around trying to kill Jews. And then they only stop them after they try to kill Jews or after they launch a terrorist attack. And then suddenly, oh, yeah, they had a history of mental illness.
So the quality of terrorism has really declined recently. It's so
pretty bad, isn't it?
It's so embarrassing.
I had like the golden age several years ago, and now it's just pathetic.
Yeah, what is this, man? At least so stupid.
Pretty bad.
Finally, the notion of the harm principle can be applied to the apostasy law. The action of individual. Come on, shut the fuck.
There he is. There's the Muhammad hijab coming out. It's the harm principle.
As apostasy in Islam is a great harm to society. Well, Hamza Tortoise, you know what? Islam is a great harm to society.
Yeah.
What do you want us to do now? Huh?
I want you to shut up. I want you to shut up and stop oppressing us by criticizing all our lies. We tell lies and then you guys expose them. That's oppression. You're oppressing
Hamza
us.
Tortoise, if you think apostasy is a harm to society, which is why apostates need to be executed. Hamza Tortoise, I'm telling you, I think Islam is a great harm to society. So what do you want us to do, Hamza Tortoise? What do you want us to do, Hamza Tortoise? Anyway, that's it. Hamza Tortoise, you're finished.
You're finished.
You're finished already. Look at me. Look at me. You know you're done.
So run back to your little Aisha Madison site.
Yep.
Doing mutta with your little child brides.
And I always want to tell you one more time, Hamza Tortoise. Islam is a great harm to society. Mm-hmm. So and what do you want us to do?
Yeah, we have to consider the good of society, the good of Western civilization, the good of the entire globe. And the best thing that everyone can do is refute Islam and mercilessly mock the most obvious false prophet in history.
Hold up. Is this happening right now? Montreal Jewish school shooting. Shots fired at another Jewish school, this time in Montreal. The violence will only escalate and so on. Another Montreal Jewish school targeted by gunfire happened around 3.
Nuance, AP, nuance. You got to frame it. You got to frame it. Islam is true, and Jews are all supposed to be exterminated according to Muhammad. That's how you're supposed to frame it. So these are the good guys shooting up places. Come on, frame it. Frame it. Use the nuance. Use the nuance.
Yeah, we and you know, right? It's like if a Muslim country does something, or if Muslims do something, then it is absolutely wrong to attack Muslims based on that. However, if Israel does something, then it's totally okay to attack any Jew wherever it is. This is their logic. Sick, absolutely sick bastards here.
You're sick. You're sick.
The funny thing is that Israel is taking action against UNRWA, against the thing. Israeli Land Authority has ordered the United Nations Relief and Work Agency to vacate its premises in Jerusalem within 30 days due to lease violations and unpaid rent amounting to $7.3 million. This action follows allegations by Israel that some UNRWA staff were involved in the October 7 incursions. This is not allegations, it's been proven, man. Although an independent investigation found no evidence to support his claims, it has been found. What are you talking about? What is this based on? The Knesset has voted to designate UNRWA as a terrorist organization.
I second that motion.
In response, there are plans to build a Jewish-only settlement on the vacated UNRWA site.
You reap what you sow, UNRWA. Underwear. UNRWA sounds like underwear. Anyway.
The international
Dirty. You're dirty, UNRWA.
Has reacted with mixed views, with some supporting Israel's actions, others criticizing them as a vindictive targeting of UNRWA.
Vindictive. Of course it is. Of course it is. Oh, man. But I have to say that...
if it is vindictive, can you really blame them?
No, that's what I'm saying, of course. And so UNRWA had to get out of the city, but on their way out, they left skid marks on their UNRWA.
The skid marks look like this.
Yeah. Hey, Zabiba looks like a skid mark.
Yeah. So the UNRWA is supposedly part of the United Nations and is in charge of refugee and all the needs of Palestinian displaced people and all of that. But UNRWA has been very, very much involved in helping Hamas, helping carry out terrorist organizations, harboring Israeli hostages. In fact, the most recent discovery was that the bodies of 3 hostages were found at the site of an UNRWA facility inside a tunnel. So, and they're just mounting evidence more and more and more, where UNRWA is just involved in terrorism and in the war against Israel. And of course, every time they're like, "Oh, we had no idea. We didn't know about this at all. No idea how that happened."
Same with the
Israel. Just at some point, Israel is like, "Yeah, okay, we don't believe you anymore." You know?
Yeah, same with the little schools. Same with those little schools under UNRWA.
Yeah,
like that's where they actually walk up to the little kids and they're like, "So, what do you think about Jews?" "Ah, we're gonna kill them. We're gonna kill them. Our greatest desire is to kill all these Jews and blah 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 blah." This is what they're learning at school.
but if you ask them, they're like, "We don't know why the kids are saying these things."
I love that, by the way. I love that. We're designating them a terrorist organization. We're taking their stuff and we're turning it into a Jewish area. Ha 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 ha. That's how you deal with them. That's how you deal with this situation. Exactly.
Israeli Knesset voted to designate UNRWA a terrorist organization. Israeli authorities ordered the agency to vacate its property and occupy Jerusalem within 30 days. The Nazi deputy mayor Aryeh King presents plan to build Jewish-only settlement in this place. It's so funny when they call Israel Nazis. These people who want the eradication of anything Israel. Well, what do you expect from terrorists? What do you expect from terrorists? What do you know?
I like that approach, by the way. I like that approach.
Yeah. I got some shekels right here.
Yeah, what the heck, man? I'm going to go. I need to go back to Israel just to get piles of shekels. All I have is 70. I got some coins, but I got these 70 right here.
The 100 new
70
shekels.
big ones. Yeah, I can't have AP showing off more shekels than me.
See,
Don't worry. Don't worry. Going to Israel in December. I'm going to come back with fat stacks of shekels.
You're going in
Fat
December
stacks.
already?
Fat stacks of shekels.
I have to do some traveling this year, including maybe Israel sometime. Inshallah. Oh yeah, I think we have a plan for some September or next year sometime. I don't know. We'll see. Sid Day, for them innocent is basically someone Islamic. If Palestinians were Buddhists or Christians or Hindus, they would not give a damn at all. That's true. That's true. That's what they do. The sniggering Wigger said, Israel to Muslims is an existential problem as the way they filter reality is threatened since why? Would Allah allow the Jews to keep winning over them? It is like a refutation of their faith.
It is. It's totally correct. It's as far as the impact it has on Muslim thinking, the existence and strength and dominance of Israel and the inability of the Ummah to deal with it successfully is one of the top arguments against their position. It's always in their minds, and that's why they're obsessed with destroying it. It's an obstacle towards complete confidence in Islam. They have to get it out of the way for them to be confident of their religion. And so, go Israel.
It's kind of funny. I also have coins here, shekel coins.
You may have the coins, but I got the fat stacks.
Easy. Jingo Stick Pig said, I made you guys a 1.5-minute video of Earl Mujab singing Darwire's Aladdin songs. Send as a Twitter message to AP and stay until the end. I think I saw. I was traveling. I was in London when I saw that.
Aladdin songs. You know who would love those songs? Apostate Aladdin.
Ugh. Ugh. Don't even mention this. Don't even mention that. How could you do this? How could you do this, David? Don't even mention it. How could you do this?
Think about it.
Just mentioning that name, it makes me feel all the trauma of the past experiences I've had with Apostate Aladdin. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I need to have this handy, man. I need to use this clip handy.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Apparently, I used it in response to this at some point. Interesting. So, anyway, let's continue. I need to check my messages to look for that video. Sheikh Mike Wingelinch, peace be upon me. How dare AP and his sidekick stream at the same time as IP? On behalf of Mike Johnson, I declare jihad on both your houses. What? Mike John is streaming? That's interesting, Mike John. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's on Mike Jones. Anyone who wants to go live needs to contact us and say, "Hey, can we go live now?" And we'll say no because we're going live.
Mike Johnson.
Mike Jones.
Celeria Rosencroix says, salutations, friends. Salut. And welcome back from vacation. Yes, thank you. Merci. Very, very much. Merci beaucoup. AP, also, Dr. Wood asked me to remind him of the possibility of scheduling a stream in the future where you view videos sent in to you.
Oh, yeah. So Celeria made a video and then said, could we take a look at it? And I said, hey, maybe we'll do a show where because we know there a bunch of people who are in the chat are also YouTubers and they make videos and stuff. But maybe we just have a live stream periodically, once or twice a month, where we actually say, hey, send us your videos you want us to check out, and we can check them out.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
And we could tell them how they're not good enough.
Yeah. Pretty big.
And how they need more nuance.
More nuance.
And how we're being oppressed if you disagree with us. If you disagree with us on anything, we'll tell you how we're being oppressed and how you're hurting our feelings.
Alhamdulillah. Awful Falafel said, long time for... What is that? I don't know.
Awful Falafel.
Long time follower of you both, never used Super Chat because I was broke. Just want to let you know, guys, how much I enjoy your work. Still broke, though. Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Don't make Super Chats, though, if you're broke.
But it's actually a ball of falafel with Ali Dawa's face on it. Yeah. And so what makes the falafel awful? Well, it's Ali Dawa. That's funny.
Alle Daumen ist die falafel. That's good. That's good. That's good. Good. Definitely not MBS says all leather straps on Rafah. I pretend I'm clueless because I'm in a Muslim country, but David is right that Israel winning will F up Muslims believe in Allah. That's true. Very much.
True.
Bear Lamb, I know Muhammad had a 6-year-old or 9-year-old, but if you read Mark 14:51, why was Jesus God with a naked little boy? Explain that one. Said Spinkler.
One, he wasn't. They tried to snatch a dude who is presumably Mark, right? Because Mark is the only one who mentions this. It's when they come to capture Jesus, and they're trying to grab the people who are with Jesus, and it's so they try to snatch up Mark, and he pulls out of his garments and he runs away naked.
Mensch.
"See?
You see, David said Mensch.
See?"
Goat Hub Music, we are here, we here on the best site on the web. Missed you, AP. Appreciate it. I haven't visited Goat Hub in a while.
Pakistan's #1 site.
Okay, IDF announces it has taken full control of the Philadelphia corridor and the narrow strip of land along the Gaza-Egypt border. No way out for Hamas now. And they've also revealed a bunch of tunnels that Hamas was using between Egypt and Gaza, which now bring a lot of questions to the table. And Israel wants to approach the situation calmly and reasonably. There are different theories on what has been conspiring there. But apparently certain elements within Egypt were leaving tunnels open to Gaza and operating with Hamas members. And there are different suspicions, some of which are similar to maybe certain forces within Egypt that are not necessarily close to the government, being corrupt and working with Hamas and things like that. Others saying that the government of Egypt was actually aware of these tunnels and was using them and stuff like that. There's a lot of talk going on, but if you ask me, I doubt that that the government of Egypt has at any point collaborated with or helped Hamas. The government of Egypt, they don't like Islamists. They don't like the Muslim Brotherhood at all. On the contrary, they track down and torture Muslim Brotherhood members. If you want to accept that as a good thing or not, I don't care. But the issue is Muslim Brotherhood is tied to Hamas. Hamas is an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood, and the government of Egypt is an enemy of the Muslim Brotherhood and also considers Hamas a great danger, and think that if Hamas became too powerful, it would be a danger to their very existence. So it seems very, very unreasonable that that the government of Egypt would actually help Hamas. Not sure what's going to happen now. But it just backfired on you.
A little side note on how important that is. You've got those tunnels, so it's not just a question of can Hamas get out. That's also how people smuggle in weapons.
Yeah,
people are smuggling in weapons from that, and now, so in other words, their weapons stores are now dried up. You can't get new weapons now, and so you've got Hamas. They're cornered in one little area. The tunnels have now been taken by Israel. No more reinforcements from being handed to them from Sinai.
Yep. Israel totally cut off any channel that they had left to illegally or undercover get support from the outside world.
Hey,
and is now closing in.
Hey, you know who they need? You know who needs to come rescue them?
Superman.
No, remember those protesters who rushed out of the library with like cut up garbage cans and charged the cops? They need those guys. Those guys could save them. They call it the charge of the woke brigade.
Yeah.
Those dudes.
Or maybe Queers for Palestine could
Queers
go and
for
help
Palestine needs to
help Hamas. Yeah.
Yeah, charge through. Queers for Palestine.
Queers for Palestine. We're here to help Hamas.
Mark Schwarzberg said, if you close your eyes when he speaks, it sounds like Ilhan Omar. Not sure who you're talking about.
Which one? Were we watching any clips?
I don't know. Yeah. No, we didn't.
Because we didn't listen to any Hamza clips, right?
No, they're probably talking about you. So Danny the Alaskan said, wait, Ali said taking the mick out of you. So Mickey Mouse, Farfour confirmed, you see. I know. Amazing, right?
We're proud of that.
It's right there. The proof is right there. It's the proof. Suzanne Lee, today Israel give UNRWA 30 days notice to get out of the country.
Nice.
Very well done. Very, very well done.
Nice.
Very well done. Aisha's goat, Allah's mercy equals murder. Well, well, well. Well, 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 well. What is someone's murder is someone else's.
It reminds, I mean, it's
Nurse.
crazy because it reminds me of like all the 1984 stuff. Like just you can just call something whatever you want to call it and make it sound good. But that's like, oh yeah, we're going to chop all your heads off for refusing to believe in a child molester. It's a mercy to you. It's a mercy to all of you that we chop your heads off and send you to hell.
That's called
for not mindlessly believing in this guy who banged a 9-year-old girl.
That's called doublespeak in 1984. Doublespeak. That's a very funny thing, isn't it? To change.
Well, Ali Dawa had them 40 great. Daniel Pikachu had 1,000 tails. But brother, you're in luck. Paws up my sleeves. I got a Dawa that'll never fail. You're getting a lot in your corner now. Muhammad, peace be upon him as well. You made the greatest choice in joining us. But if you leave the face, shit hits the fan. And I'll say, Mr. Apostate, sir, you've met your end, you see. You're sick in the mind, you're molested. Straying from the path you got from me, ha ha ha. Zionist warped your mind, turning you against me. You're lucky you don't live in my dreamland, or you'd be headless immediately.
What in the world?
Look at him. He's honest. You should play this every show, man.
Who sent me that? Who are you? Who sent me that? Trying to find jingoistic pig. That was you, right? Very, very nice. I'm gonna look into that further. Let's see.
I can convert the world.
Oh, you need to work on that a little bit more. Yeah.
Spreading Islam to millions. Tell me, sister, would you consider being my third wife?
You really need to work on that here.
I can convert the world. Make you revert to Islam. Pedophilia is relative. Hamas is justified. They say I'm wrong, but my prophet decides. They say it's wrong, but more wives are much better. If you remove your veil, I'll make you well. Because the Quran says that I can. I admit Apostate Prophet and David Wood are right that the Quran is wrong in saying Jews believe Ezra is Allah's son. I can.
Wait.
I admit Apostate Prophet and David Wood are right that the Quran is wrong in saying Jews believe Ezra is Allah's son.
There you go. There you go. You have it directly right there from Muhammad Hijab's mouth. So
Powerful, powerful, powerful.
You see, this is the proof. Nice, nice, nice. Good stuff. This is good stuff. And sadly, Israelis got Ava, Nagila, Nagila, theme song. What theme song do Dawa guys have?
Thank heaven for little girls.
What is that from?
That's from some musical. I used it in the video a long time ago. I don't remember what that was from.
That's so messed up. That is so messed up. But no, Dawa guys do have a theme song. I'm gonna play it for a few seconds here. left my desktop sound on, so it kind of echoed, I think. But
It
anyway,
did.
you get the point.
It did. Amateur move.
GoTop Music said, of course, it is the religion of mercy. Mercy killing. Yeah.
Mercy molesting. We molest these girls. It's a mercy.
Mercifully molest you. Debo Drew, did you hear Sheriff Gubber got more time? 9 years now. Yes, I have.
Yeah, I was thinking we might want to cover that in some show or something.
Yeah. So I did see that. I did see that he posted about that, and he made a YouTube video on that, and also made certain tweets about it.
He's sounding pretty darn depressed.
Pretty depressed, including. He also said, "I regret making the videos. It wasn't worth it. For the first time in my life, I feel like the end is near, and I feel like nothing in the world is worth fighting for. I'm alone. I'm lost. I'm depressed, and the pain is too much to handle. I'm too weak to fight."
That would have to be a sucky feeling, man. Too weak to fight. Ugh.
Yeah,
that sucks. That's it's screwed up because I mean, I have no idea what prison is like in Egypt. I'm thinking of prison in the UK. I'm like, man, I'd do 9 years. There's a problem there. But I'm assuming things are significantly worse over there, especially if you're in there for criticizing Islam. That I would guess your jailers are going to make your life really, really bad.
the issue is the reason that I'm not talking about this very much is that so I have been getting in touch with others to find out more and to find out the authenticity of everything, to see what is actually happening, to have more background information on the sentencing and all of that.
We should do a show. We should do a show about that, or make a video out about it, or something.
Because he hasn't been very good in communicating his situation and the help he's getting. Also, I know of several people who are who have very good connections and who have contacted him to try and help him, and he didn't reply to anybody so far. And he has been consistently like that in not replying to people who are contacting him to try to help him. So it's a little bit confusing to me. That's why I don't know what to say about it. That's all I want to say.
I'm looking for I mean, you can continue. I'm looking for anything that I can find apart from the tweets.
Inshallah. Beast Crusade said, have you ever read Islamic Antichrist by Joel Richardson? He puts forward that the Mahdi and Isa share similarities with the Antichrist and false prophet in Revelation. It's an interesting perspective. David, have you ever read this?
No, I've got the book. I've said before, I've never been terribly interested in end time stuff, so I generally leave that to other people. But yeah, I mean, as far as that comparison, as far as I know, Joel Richardson's the main guy on the planet. He's the main expert on that. So yeah, if you're interested in that, I would encourage you guys to read that.
Yep. Somebody with a Chinese name says, that's not Chinese, that's Korean. Says, mashallah, brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah. Appreciate it very, very much. Loney Crow says, thank you so much, appreciate it. Makes super shekels and says, incoming news from Rafah. Farfur's homework found and sent to UNRWA for examination. Repeated use of children suggests Farfur was Mossab all along. Wow, this is interesting. I didn't know that. Huh, that's good stuff. Oh. AJ, AP, you see, Diana has intellectually molested you.
Got a good point.
Hamza Tortoise. Hey, Hamza Tortoise made a super chat.
Woohoo!
Hamza Tortoise said,
our favorite tortoise.
You're hiding boy. Ben's Feminger said, protesting nonsense. Getting out of hand up here north of you guys. Anyways, love you two's videos and the info you share. So needed. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Fence Feminger. I know Canada is totally, it's over. Canada is doomed. I don't know what you guys are still doing up there.
We're all doomed. We're all doomed. Get to the U.S. while you can, Bence.
Evacuate now.
Get to the U.S. and work with us building our bunker here in the U.S. Building a huge bunker, and we're going to fill it with MREs. And then we'll all Stay there and hide.
Alhamdulillah.
Hey, that'd actually be funny. People are like, Islam's taking over the world. Let's go hang out in this bunker for 10 years. And then if Islam actually did take over the world, then all the different Muslim groups would attack each other. And then you have to start over afterwards.
There's just now news that Canada said on Monday that pledges more visas for Gazans, says it's horrified by Israeli attack on Rafah. Canada said on Monday it will issue visas to 5,000 Gazans, more than it originally pledged, and said it was horrified, and so on. So apparently, after several countries were asked about accepting Gazan refugees, most of the Muslim countries in question said they have no plans at the moment of accepting refugees. Most of the surrounding countries have said that they have no such intentions. However, Canada, from across the globe, immediately said, we'll take them. We'll take them. We have a lot of place here. We have a lot of space. We'll take more Gazans into this country.
Yeah, just like all the Muslim countries that are taking them in.
I don't want to be mean and cruel.
Yeah, you definitely don't.
But if you want to find out more about Palestinian refugees, I suggest studying the crime scene of Berlin. You will see a link. Taruntaj said people who judge Christianity as a barbaric religion like Islam look at it from Old Testament, which is basically based off of Torah and its link to Christ. Real Christianity is the New Testament. Yeah. Aren't you Hindu, Taruntaj? I don't know. But yeah, interesting. Yes, thank you. Islamoprobe said, for the West to save itself, it must defeat the Crescent. When the US gets its October 7, and it will, we must unleash our moral, cultural, spiritual, and military fury on the other religion. Inshallah. Inshallah. First off, we shouldn't object to Israel for responding appropriately to their October 7. Unfortunately, so much of the world actually thinks, because the other side, because the Islamist side is so loud, so much of the world thinks that they have to step in and do something when Israel responds to terrorism. And they think they have to be supportive of the poor other guys who are just experiencing the fury of Israel. Just leave it alone. The primary reason why the conflict is still ongoing might very well be the West, because the West is just indulging this whole idea of Palestine and is treating them like babies instead of holding them accountable for how they have been acting for decades now. Andrea Savelli says, guys, what would you use to do videos like yours? Webcam, shared screen. Also, do you know Rudy Rockman recently heard this Christianity would be interesting to have as guest for the live debate? I don't know. Really? He has? I have no idea. What I do with my setup is it's some soldier. What I do with my setup is I just use StreamYard here, and I use a mirrorless camera, which I modify through different means and use it as webcam instead of using an actual webcam, which is why it looks so fantastic. That's what I do. Monologic said, be well, have fun, stay alert, stay safe. Thank you so much. And say no to drugs. Mechanique, I hope I can one day visit a mostly Christian Iran, inshallah. Michelle G said, how should we deal with Islamists, our countries? I believe they should be deported along with their family to their country of origin. Yes. Did you see what Geert Wilders is doing in Netherlands right now? So, you know, Geert Wilders was received the most popular vote in the Netherlands, but Geert Wilders and his party also don't have enough votes to form a government on their own, so they have to make a deal with the other conservative parties or whoever wants to collaborate. So they actually made a deal to form a government in the Netherlands, led by Geert Wilders. And Geert Wilders convinced these other parties to take certain measures, including, but not limited to, massive deportations for very simple things, like people just not, adjusting to the rules and making statements that shall no longer be allowed. He's also introducing it under his leadership. It will be introduced to make pro-Palestine genocidal statements will be directly punishable and could also lead to deportations and so on. The guy is basically tackling the whole issue by saying deportation, 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 deportation. And you know what? Good. Michelle G said, how can we make it happen? Too many mosques in our country. Our government leader seems to be so blind. Ilhan Omar, Rashid Tlaib, and other hate America. How can they still be in Congress? America has a very, very stupid political system, unfortunately. And that's what it is. That's what it is. The Jew who believes in Ezra. Hey, we found him. David, look at.
Oh, nice. Dude, this totally changes my perspective on everything. Muslims, I apologize for everything I've ever said about Muhammad. That on the Quran saying that Jews call Ezra the son of God, and on Muhammad in the Hadith saying that Jews worship him. And so we've never been able to find any evidence of this, and this fueled my rage against your prophet. But now it's been confirmed. Jews do indeed worship Ezra. And so we apologize. We apologize for everything.
Iman strong.
I have to say that this is why we all deserve to be executed.
Yep. Alhamdulillah. Couldn't have said it better. Robert Aldani says, Patrick Bet-David has said that October 7 has split the American right. Do you agree? Yes. In a way, yes.
If that hadn't split, everyone, I've been saying this a long time. Everyone is going to be split. Every alliance is going to be split. That's what's happening when you believe that you're being attacked on all sides. This changes you psychologically. Things that you would let slide before, you don't let slide. You go to war over. And so every group is going to break down. And if there is some group that can actually hold it together while everyone else in the world is programmed and pushed into further and further division until there's nothing that unites anyone. If there's a group that can actually stand and not be divided like that, you're going to come out very, very strong at the end of this mess.
Yes. Until finally the end of days comes. Yeah. But yes, it definitely has. There is one camp that has just drifted very, very far into the whole conspiracy theories and the Jews side, which is a minority, but a very loud one, unfortunately, on the right. And then there is the other one that has remained conservative and has also in this conflict remained supportive of Israel and has not drifted into that direction. There is a major split. Unfortunately, some people on the right, especially in America, have decided that they want to believe the Islamist narrative and hate Israel and hate Jews and think that is the big problem, which is that is a very, very unpopular position in Europe, where people are dealing with actual problems, with real problems like Islamists, for example, at their doors. There, people don't really go into that direction of saying, oh no, Muslims are not the real problem, Jews are the problem. In America, where you don't really deal with real problems yet, some people might drift into the whole, the Jews, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Momo the Clown, hoo gosh, hiya kids. Want to see a puppy magic show? Get in this white van with no license plates. It'll be the show of a lifetime. This is Momo the Clown.
I have to say, man, I love it when I blurt something out and then People roll with it. I love when I start randomly saying, you see, and then like I see everyone going, you see.
Yeah.
It cracks me up, man.
I just think that
Almost
UC is a
cloud.
perfect thing for the future United Kingdom when it turns Islamic. The United Caliphate. The UC.
Oh, I thought it was still going to be United Kingdom. They just misspell it because they're morons. United Kingdom with a C.
Guys, how do we spell kingdom? Is it C? Okay. It's C. Okay, C. Faisal Mod Tatiana is making the chat dead, banning people for spamming hearts for Israel. Please don't give Groypers power. Well, I don't believe that. What are you talking about? I don't
Hey,
believe you.
Tatiana, quit making the chat dead.
Tatiana, stop
You
killing
doing
the
it?
chat.
I've never seen any problems for Tatiana.
I don't see any. I don't
Maybe
see
she's
any
banning people who are jerks, and then people are complaining. Anyway,
Yeah. Just don't ban anyone, unless they continuously say some really messed up things. That's it. I don't care about people just spamming the same thing with flags and all that. Just let it happen.
Tatiana has literally committed genocide.
Alex3 said Tatiana killed me.
It's literally genocide.
Mike Rodge Winger says Mike Winger also wants ex-Christians executed.
He probably does, psycho.
Or finally
Probably
something.
And he
good
probably
for him.
wants to do it himself.
Michelle G said too many government leaders cowering to Islam. Get them out while we still can before it's too late. I'm going to tell you something, Michelle.
Oh, here we go. It's too
And-
late. Get in a bunker.
And it might be a little bit difficult. And I might be wrong, but this is just how I see it. Because this is how humans are. And it might be a little bit depressing. However, as you have a growing Muslim population and a growing Muslim influence and a growing Muslim vote in Western countries, there will be those who very early on will try to win over Muslims and try to appeal to the Muslim vote and sell out their values and make very big compromises, not realizing how
That's
big
true.
how big these compromises are, acting like, oh, we're just making making a few amendments here, but basically undermining the foundation of their society and of their entire values and their ideologies in order to appease Muslims and get the Muslim vote. And you could see that very easily when it happens on the left, for example, among people who easily sell out. However, the problem is that it won't stop with the left.
And it won't stop.
won't
It won't
stop.
stop with whatever you're granting them as part of your voting agreement. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Right?
But it won't stop with the left. It will continue. And many others on the center, the conservative side, the right wing, will also eventually bend over and start doing that, because it will be beneficial, because you will have parties, movements, individuals that care more about power and more about the money and more about whatever they can get short term than they actually care about values. So it won't just be restricted to the left, but those outside the left, those more right to the left, like the center, the conservatives, the right wing, will also start engaging in that and will also start selling out and also trying to appeal to the Muslim vote, and things will change in a not so nice way. This already happened in different European countries. Very early.
It's been happening very recently.
Yeah.
You remember that? Like, what was it? The Labor Party, the ones that are dominating, they just said they guaranteed, hey, Muslims, vote for us and we'll recognize Palestinian state and so on. And you look at that and say, okay, they're going to grant a Palestinian state and so on. But what happened? They're getting in bed with the leaders of the Muslim community, and it's a trade-off. You keep voting for us and we'll keep granting your demands. Well, guess what? AP, how long is it before the Muslims tell the party that they vote into power, you can't allow any criticism of Islam?
It will happen very quickly.
Very quickly.
As soon as the chances arise, it will happen very quickly. And you don't even have to wait for forming a majority in the entire country. It can start as soon as they have the ability to enforce certain things like that in municipalities, and forming a majority in a certain place in London, in different places where they can somehow or somewhat enforce certain rules, certain laws, certain ideas. But the issue is. When I say it won't just be restricted to the left, but also continue with the center and also the right, you already have in European countries. Those who know about Germany will probably be aware that in Germany it wasn't the left or the liberals or the socialists or whatever it is who sold out and who basically did this whole policy of opening the borders and letting as many people as possible and accommodating them and bending over backward and two-tier policing and all of that. This is not what the left did. It's what the supposed conservative Christian Democratic Union did. The government under Merkel is known as the Christian Democratic Union. It's a Christian conservative liberal government that pandered and pandered and pandered and messed the country up in order to appeal to this minority, and also to kind of play into this whole, as Germany, we have a great responsibility and so on, which is why in Germany there is a great shift is happening where those who don't agree with this stuff anymore switch out from the regular conservative party into the far right to oppose all of this messed up change, all of this messed up corruption of their own values. But again, so this is just one example, but it's not restricted to liberalism. It's not restricted to the left. All aspects of society, all aspects of politics will easily fall into that same trap of thinking we need more power, we need more support, therefore we can make some compromises and will then look for the Muslim vote and will mess things up. Prevent it. Aisha's Goat said, guys, Daily Corvid is going through the Quran verse by verse. Without lies, Islam dies. Daily Corvid. Who's Daily Corvid? What is Daily Corvid?
I've actually wanted to do that for a long time. Like make a series and get like some people like Robert Spencer, who has his own Quran, but he's gone through writing commentary on the entire Quran. An Arab like Brother Rashid or something like that, and actually do a series called Through the Quran. Through the Quran. We just start with a chapter, probably a fun one. Probably start with a fun one like Surah 18 or something like that, and just make a series going through the entire Quran, so that at the end of it all, you have a video commentary on the entire Quran. Probably takes several years, but anyway, one of the long-term goals. Or I mean, a lot of the Quran is such boring crap. Maybe not go through all of it. Maybe go through the most important parts and have a complete series on the most important parts of the Quran. That'd be dope.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Conservative liberal, said Andy Thompson. Yeah, it's actually outside of America, it's actually very common for parties to be conservative liberal or liberal conservative. It's not just restricted to two parties. So combining economic conservatism in economics with liberalism in social politics or vice versa and things like that happens. Kosher Mouse Club said AP Andrew Gold promoted Tate via Michael Francis UK tour. Tommy R promotes they are 109% innocent. Are you aware of this? I actually chatted with Tommy Robinson about Andrew Tate in the past a little bit. And we both had our agreements that Andrew Tate is doing some really dumb things. But aside from that, I did hear that he has defended Andrew Tate on certain occasions. Don't know much about it. Haven't seen much from him on that kind of stuff. If I see it, I will, of course, say BS. However, I first have to see it. When it comes to Andrew Gold, I don't know anything about that, honestly.
Yeah, and I have to say, don't care tremendously, right? Like, I guess the implication here is, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of David. AP is an atheist. It's like, yeah, we disagree on that, but we agree on this on these other things. You see what I'm saying? Like, guess what? Tommy could support Andrew Tate and think that he's 100% innocent, and we would think Tommy's wrong and Andrew Gold is wrong. We would say they're wrong, but we agree with Tommy on this other stuff over here.
Wrong.
But we're
the
happy.
thing is-
We're happy to have a 2-on-2 debate with David Wood and the Apostate Prophet versus Andrew Gold and Tommy Robinson on Andrew Tate.
I'm just slightly confused because I'm checking Andrew Gold on Andrew Tate right now and seeing that he has an episode where he criticizes Andrew Tate, and people are agreeing with his criticism of Andrew Tate. But I don't know much about it. I have no idea. I don't know. Andrew Tate is cooked anyway. He's gonna be in big trouble, and that's good. Call of Ghidorah says, and by the way, also Andrew Tate is a rapist and human trafficker and a criminal, and hope he gets what he deserves. Call of Ghidorah said, "Yo, boys, did you see Norman Finkelstein's interview in Trigonometry? Likely his most infuriating interview yet. I love trigonometry. However, I'm not sure if I can ever sit through an interview with Norman Finkelstein, even if it is on trigonometry. So I haven't seen it. I know that they did it, but I haven't seen it yet. But much respect to trigonometry. Konstantin Kisin is a great guy. I think very, very smart. Very solid. One of the very, very few very sane and smart people alive. All the others are dead. However, Norman Finkelstein, I don't think I can I can do that. Isa Kabir said, just was streaming reading Aesop. This is her stuff. Huh.
What's that mean?
I don't know.
Really good.
Really good, healthy stuff.
Really good, honestly.
Really great health stuff.
Aesop stuff is dope. I read all of Aesop's fables back in the day. Pretty dope. There's some dope stuff in there.
So boring. Pants Schmantz says, made a super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Michelle G says, it's hard to believe that Black Africans could embrace Islam when Islamic doctrine speaks harshly of them. It has to be spiritual to create such blindness. Unfortunately so. Islamic history has been very, very harsh to Black Africans as well. Ibn Khaldun, one of the most prominent historians and sociologists in Islamic history, has described sub-Saharan Africans, so Black Africans, as, in his words, very sorry, he described them as similar to dumb animals with, no capabilities and no meaning, basically just meant to be slaves. Stuff like that. This was the Islamic understanding throughout history, pretty much. Pretty messed up. Rex Danger said, if the Bible was good in the 7th century according to Islam and corrupted later, wouldn't that mean the Greek and Latin manuscripts are the word of God? Yes. And they are.
And you have, again, we've got a problem, guys, that we have copies of the complete Bible long before the 7th century. Whatever part you're talking about. If you're talking about the Torah, we've got the Dead Sea Scrolls. That's BC. And the Quran says that Jesus affirmed the Torah that was available during his time. So we know what the Torah was available at his time because we have copies of the Torah from before the time of Jesus and from after the time of Jesus. And then we also have copies of both Old Testament and New Testament before the time of Muhammad, during the time of Muhammad, after the time of Muhammad. We know what the Quran is affirming. And so when a Muslim says, oh, yeah, it's still available in the 7th century, but not available afterwards, we've got copies. What are you talking about? We've got copies of it. Anyway, it doesn't work. There is no coherent Muslim position on this, apart from the most coherent position you can have. Speaking, if you were a Muslim, the most coherent position you could have is, yes, the Quran is affirming the inspiration, the preservation, and the authority of the Jewish and Christian scriptures. So somehow Christians and Jews are just misinterpreting the stuff.
Ew.
That's it. That's the most coherent position you could have. And it's not going to work.
Ew.
It's still stupid.
Same as Chris said, proud Islamo hater and helicopter fan. Very, very much respect to all the helicopters out there. And the great Eli Copter.
Eli Copter. We need a cartoon about Eli Copter.
Christina said, have you noticed how large God Logic's live streams have gotten? Pretty impressive. Maybe it's not all a lost cause. LOL. I know God Logic is doing
God Logic's crushing it. He's crushing it.
He's doing a tremendous job.
I already said it. I said it in a previous live stream. I was like, he's young, he's super smart, he's a great communicator. He will be systematically destroying people while smiling and still being happy. You can't rattle him, you can't make him lose his cool, and he's just relentless and keeps coming after you. That guy is perfect.
Fantastic guy.
Perfect
job.
for this day, perfect for this time. And I don't know, when I sit back and think, hey, I'm eventually going to be too old for this, I like it that there are these young bucks coming along.
He's crushing it. He's doing a very good job.
He's humiliating them.
And I'm very happy for him. And I'm I'm quite impressed with how he's doing and how he's handling it and how active he is. Definitely amazing job.
We're proud of that.
He's a fantastic guy. He's doing a tremendous job. Gornar's Bulldozer said, you hear about in praise of Shadow slandering a bunch of YouTubers like Wendy Goon, Turkey Tom, Brennan Herrera, and many others as far right and bigots. I haven't heard of a single thing.
I've not heard of anything you just said here. It's like, hey, it's like you get a super chat and say, hey, have you heard of Slub Glob making fun of Glem Schlump and Slag? No, haven't heard of that. I have no clue what you're talking about.
I've heard of Slump Glump before. Joe Trevor says, nice tattoo, guys. If you're Turkish, going to a Turabdin or Midyat and bringing back with those who fled would make the place better. Yeah, can't do that no more. I can't go to Turkey. Turkey is punishing me. Turkey is like a lawsuit against me. Said I insult Islam, don't like me. I don't know why. Michelle G. Nukes love life, not really. We know who loves not living. Yep. Vinny the Pooh said, I love how Israel has colorful shekels like Canada. Colorful shekels like Canada. It's not really colorful. It's just...
They do like them. I wasn't even thinking about that, but they do make them like obviously like completely different colors, right? Yeah. Like American money is almost all like completely the same color.
American money is very boring.
Just has different numbers on it and stuff like that.
British money is like pounds. They're very cute.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, very nice to touch, and they look very good and have this whole thing, like this whole see-through section and all that. It's very, very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. I've been to Romania. They had some very interesting money there. Was that Romania? I don't know. Not sure. Vinny the Boo said, oh yeah, I already read this. Oh wait, Legimathigayon. Hey, what's up, Legimathigayon? Always nice to see you here, Legimathigayon. So Legimathigayon said, if I didn't know any better, I would say that Darwa before invasion is a Bolshevik strategy. It appeals to the dumbest marginalized types. When invasion arrives, they can open the gates, sabotage, detect, or defect to the invading army and give intelligence. It could work like that. However, the situation right now, I would say, is different, especially in countries like the UK. There is no chance of invading the UK in the traditional way. There is, however, a chance of slowly spreading the religion, and then slowly from within enforcing Islamic laws and Islamic morals and Islamic standards, and that is the way to go for them. Not gonna. There won't be an invasion. It's impossible.
Yeah.
But this is the way it would go, and it's actually very tragic. It's death.
And I have to say, can we all be extremely thankful
Cancer.
that
What?
Islamic countries have such crap armies right now? Because I mean, as far as the communists have periodically had some really, really powerful armies that could do a lot of damage and take on a lot of stuff. And they're able to do a lot of damage. Can you imagine how much things would suck if Muslim countries had armies like that? That would suck. But yeah, they don't, fortunately, which is why, yeah, AP's right. You don't have to worry about actual invasions. You have to worry about a bunch of freaking Dawa clowns.
You have to worry about invitations, not about invasions.
Yeah, it's all about the invitations, not about the invasions.
Yes. How dare you invite me? Stupid.
What are you laughing at?
I just saw something that I tweeted earlier that I don't want to put on the screen, but that is apparently getting a lot of attention. Yeah, it's because a certain adult actress in support of Palestinians said something about Nikki Haley, and I then responded.
You responded. That was Mia. What? I forget what your response was. Oh yeah. Oh, never mind. I remember what your response was. Yeah, I remember. That was a Photoshop. Yeah, I saw that one.
Oh man, I forgot about that. Apparently, it's getting a lot of attention.
Oh, that's funny.
I just felt like I was angry throughout the day. I didn't really have much of a limit in what I say in response to people. And I saw that she called, she said something like Nikki Haley is a human yeast infection or something like that. And I just thought to myself, what a stupidly disgusting, moronic thing to say. And who are you to say this? Nothing against what you are doing and what you did. However, you are here, you imbecile, standing up for the very people who would have publicly lynched, raped, and executed you and cut you up by now if you had committed your activities under their rule. So just to remind people of that, I just posted a photoshopped picture of her with the Palestinian flag in not a very pleasant way. That's it.
Shameful.
Guys, did not mean to joke about Masa Amini. Sorry. I have no idea how you joked about her. Ida Rogozin made a super shekel, said, AP sent you a message on X off live stream of some crazy Ahmed. Did you see it? Do you know him? Nope. I have to check it out. As the Canadian weirdos say. But yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Serenity Alaskan says, girl, hijab, why did you choose me instead of the other girl? Hijab. You're 6. You're 6.
You're 6.
You're 6. You're 6.
You could probably edit that audio slightly just to have the 6.
You could do that. Jason said, do you think Europe has been Islamized? A bit worried. I mean, it is partially, a little bit by bit being Islamized right now. It's not going in a very, very good direction, honestly.
Yeah, guys, and I have always for 20 years now had basically the same position. I don't think Islam's going to take over in Europe. I think that the longer you wait to deal with the problem, the worse it's going to be and the more of a bloodbath you're going to have to. I believe there was a time when you could have dealt with it completely peacefully just by opening the doors for critics to mock this religion into obscurity. Now I don't think you're dealing with it without problems. But the point is, I really can't imagine Germans perpetually submitting to this. I can't. French maybe, but Germans, no. British, no. I think they'll eventually fight back, but by that time, you're going to be stuck with a bloodbath, and it's just going to suck because it didn't have to be that way.
Yeah, always David with these negative takes. It's all over. There's no hope. Christina says, AP makes me paranoid. David would lighten the mood, please. Why am I making anyone paranoid? I'm
Yeah.
even reading the name here.
Yeah,
Although
you're doomed. What's there to be paranoid about? You're doomed. Go get a bunker, get a plot of land, get a construction team, or look up how to build a bunker yourself.
I'm so nice that I even read out an Arabic name here.
Yeah. Hey,
Proper.
it's even easier, guys. It's even easier. Back in the day when you wanted to build a bunker, you're trying to build a bunker to protect you against like nuclear attacks from the Soviets and so on. You don't have to deal with that anymore. You just got to hide from some jihadis who are going to come take over. That's what you have to do, according to AP. According to me, just jump on the train with us because we will crush this ideology. No, guys, seriously, Islam is crumbling from within right now. You should be rooting for. You can have all kinds of disagreements with Israel on this issue or that issue or something like that. When it comes to defeating Hamas once and for all, permanently,
Hamas.
you should be on their side because that will have a devastating, absolutely devastating psychological impact on the Ummah.
You see here, this is what the other side does. This is what the Islamists do. This guy is running for mayor.
Lend
In
Gaza
the
your
UK,
vote.
West Midlands mayor. Voice for the voiceless. Lend Gaza your
Isn't
vote.
this funny? Voice for the voiceless. You have millions of screaming, whining protesters around the world screaming and crying for this place that they've never been to and they can't even find on a map. But they're voiceless. They're voiceless. I mean, it's just amazing because you have Christians being slaughtered in Nigeria. You have Hindus and Christians being killed in Pakistan and so on. No one speaks out for them. Millions of morons on college campuses around the world, everywhere, are screaming about Gaza. And it's vote for me. Vote for me. What are you going to do, dude? What are you going to do, Ahmed Yaqub? What are you going to do for Gaza? What? I haven't seen any of these protesters, any of the people screaming, crying. I haven't seen them do one single solitary thing to help one actual person in Gaza. It's all to help themselves. That's what they do. That's what they do.
And that's what they do.
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
I mean, look at this. This guy says, "Lend Gaza your vote," and he's running for West Midlands mayor on 2nd May. Now, here's the thing: aside from just talking about what he can and can't do, on the map here is West Midlands, right, in the UK,
Yep.
and he's running for mayor there. The job of a mayor is to take care of the place that he is running mayor for.
Yes, Gaza.
He's supposed to be in charge of looking after this place here and developing it and making sure everything goes well and all that. And his campaign centers around lend your voice to this part here of the world.
Yeah. Gotta protect Rafah.
Yeah. So
Gotta protect the tunnel.
the citizens living over here are like, okay, we need a mayor who takes control and who takes charge of things, who fixes things, who makes everything very well. And the mayor's like, oh yeah, I am the man for the job.
Yes.
I am going to take care of
Do it. Vote for
Gaza.
me. A vote for me is a vote for Hamas. If my opponents win, Gaza will lose Hamas.
This is what they do.
Is that what you want?
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
That's what they do.
That's what they do. Screw Palestine, by the way. Winnie the Pooh said, y'all hear about the Israeli tourist detained in Toronto airport for 3 hours, then told she would be arrested if she doesn't leave Canada in 2 weeks. Haven't heard of it at all.
Man, screw Toronto airport. That's the same airport that detained me and told me if I ever come back to their stupid syrup drinking country. People don't know why I don't like Canada. They detained me because other countries you could go to the UK and have a criminal record. You could go to France and have a criminal record. You could go to Israel and have a criminal record. Canada is the place where if you have a criminal record, they're waiting for you when you get off the plane. So anyway, they were waiting for me when I got off the plane. I said, said, hey, come with us. So I had to go with them. They were waiting for me. I get off the plane. They're waiting for me. Security's waiting for me. They escort me down there. They say, hey, you have a criminal record. So apparently they check people. They like check everyone who's coming to the country if they have criminal records. Anyway, they detained me for a while. They lectured me, asked about my criminal history and so on. I broke down everything to them. They made me sign. Yeah, they made me sign a document saying I understand that if I ever show up to Canada again, I will be incarcerated. And then they escorted me to my gate with a soldier with a machine gun to keep an eye on me until I left, which just made me feel really cool and important. I mean, who walks around with a soldier with a machine gun standing with him? I felt really, really cool. But anyway.
But on the other hand, let's get all of these Gazans in here.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Keep out the criminal David Wood. But let's bring in as many Hamas jihadis as we can. Canada, you suck so bad.
They will enrich this place. They will make us better.
They'll help us make even more syrup.
And Canadians are the worst people in the world, to be honest. So that's like, what do you expect? You know, what do you expect?
Yeah. If Mike Winger was a person, I mean. That shows you what I think. If he were a person, if Mike Winger were a country, he would be Canada, run by Trudeau, after taking in all of Gaza.
Yeah, this is a fun clip. Egyptian atheist at Destiny attempts to read bomb wires.
People are saying Freudian slip if Mike Winger was a person. That's funny.
This is Destiny is being Destiny again here. This is just why I love this guy.
Deceptive cunt. He's clearly pronouncing it with a not a. You won't get away with this. Okay.
This is just typical Destiny. He's reading Arabic letters, and this is how he interprets them.
He's clearly pronouncing it with a not a. You won't get away with this.
This guy is something else, man.
That's a good team up there, Egyptian atheists and Destiny.
Yeah. Tarun said, I am Hindu, but I can still defend Christianity. Oh, cool. Nice. Libel said, Canada not know Remo and Alzane clans in Germany. They should. They should know about all the clans, the Lebanese clans and the Palestinian clans in the Berlin. They're running all the business, not good business, bad business. So Ronnie Elskan said, my favorite V game, Sleeping Dogs, was based in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is such a great place to set a game. Hong Kong has so many great sites. Hong Kong. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I didn't know it was in Hong Kong. I heard of that game before, but I didn't know it takes place in Hong Kong. Had I known that, I would probably have checked it out because I'm kind of interested in Hong Kong. Celeria Rosencroix said, AP, by the way, I hope you don't mind. I've been inspired by Why I Left Islam 2 video and plan on making a video expanding upon one of your points, specifically point 8 concerning how Islam's I want to see the rest of this, but I see no other super chat from you, Celeria. Maybe it will come. I'll leave it here. Moroni Holmes says, it doesn't make sense that Muslims call each other brothers. Who's their daddy? Gornoist Bulldozer AP looks like the cover of Cro-Magnon album. Yeah, definitely. I have no idea what that is, but yes. Michelle G, invitation like the lady who took in a snake and bit her and said she know what it was when she took it in. Islam is our snake. And that reminds me of that age-old video. When was that? Was it like at the beginning of YouTube? Like, Charlie bit me. You know that video?
Yeah, who doesn't know that video?
LX3 made a super chat. Thank you so much. Forgot to type, said LX3. I wanted to say a prostate prophet. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Always appreciate that. This is very important to add. Michelle G, in America, you will have to be packing just to travel through a city. Pack up, y'all. Pack up, y'all. Yep. This is how it is in America. Frank B said David as a CDN, he probably didn't have a machine gun that worked. Should have just coke across the border in Quebec at Trudeau's favorite place. Huh. See? See, David, you didn't take the opportunity. You see? You see? I'm really curious what Céline Rosencroix was going to say now. So, still wondering what that.
You can check the channel. There's a video that's based on your Why I Left Islam, right?
Céline Rosencroix. Céline Rosencroix. Let's see. Céline Rosencroix. Islamic stories. Nope, there is nothing here. She said, based on point 8 of my Why I Left Islam. Oh, there it is. There it is. Here. Okay, fine. Apologies. How Islam's relationship to Judaism makes the idea of Allah's
Omniscience. My goodness, go back to Turkey.
It's too late. It's too late in the stream.
Omniscience. Omniscience. What's omniscience? Is that like destiny? The omniliberal?
Omniscience and control utterly farcical. Did I talk about that back then?
You probably did.
Wow. I know I made videos on that kind of stuff much later on. I honestly have no idea what I talked about in that video. Is that you said Why I Left Islam Part 2 video? I need to check that out. Maybe I should check it out. That was 6 years ago. 6 years ago. Point 8 was
Hey, that's back when you actually made videos on YouTube. Remember that?
that was the crappiest videos that I made.
That was
in my
based. Hi, this is the Apostate Prophet. Let me tell you my second reason for leaving Islam. Thank you and welcome. Number one is Islam is very stupid and not based.
I see. That's what I talked about. What happened to the chosen people? Did Allah make a mistake, or something like that? Okay, that's.
You see, chosen.
Mhm. I can probably articulate all of these things much better than I did back then. It's probably very bad.
Yeah, he had just learned English like 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah. I was like, I want to English speak.
I want to make more fun video to combat this.
How do you say a problem? Mike Raj Winger said, let's team up with Muslims to oppose Mike Winger. I can probably join in on that.
That is probably the only thing I would do a Muslim team up for.
Cosmo the Cedric said, Muslim cowboy and pick up lines for his future 4 wives. Are you a cowgirl? Because I can imagine you riding me. Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by future 4 wives. I think he already has a couple. And so
he has one
pickup line.
regular
You should say pickup line for future child brides. Are you a cowgirl? Because I can imagine you riding me. Yeah, something like that. Hold on tight to your saddle horse, girl. There's a rodeo on my bed.
I'm pretty sure that he has a regular adult wife. Then he has one little child bride. He has a goat as a wife, which you can see on the profile picture when you go on Twitter. I'm not sure if he has another 4th one. Not sure. Kosher Mouse Club said, thank you, AP. I agree. Tate is all the things you called him and more. I will provide the receipts outlined. I'm Team Matrix. This is good. Long live the Matrix.
Hey, it's Kosher Mouse Club. So that in Hebrew, that would be the kosher Akbar.
Akbar
Akbar
Club.
Club. Akbar. Guys, keep in mind, when Muslims say Allahu Akbar, Allah is Akbar. But in Hebrew, that means mouse. Allah is a mouse.
Allah is indeed a mouse. Tiny little mouse. I just saw that.
Squeak, 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 squeak.
No, now I have to need to also hold up mine here, like the mouse. I'm also a mouse. I got this in Jerusalem. I don't know if that means anything. It's quite heavy. I got this from Jerusalem. It was quite nice. It's pretty based.
It's cool that it's nice and heavy. If a jihadi ever attacks you, you can. That would be pretty humiliating for him to.
I always carry this
on
with
the
me
face with that one
as a weapon in case any jihadi attacks me. I'll be like,
you could actually make something like that, man. Like file those ends into points and use it like kind of like Wolverine like claws, but more of them.
Yeah. Inshallah. Goat Hub Music said Muslim cowboys' future wives. We gave them 3 already. He even made a song for him.
Goat Hub Music.
Gotta check it out. And Gilito just became a YouTube member.
Hey, Gilito!
Now, welcome to the club, baby Gilito.
Yes, Gilito and his cousin Giuseppe.
Benissimo, buongiorno. Grazie. Okay, David, anything else? No?
Nope.
So Dave said, when was the last time a Muslim army beat non-Muslims? Well, you can always play video games and do that there. So
7th century.
Brass Knuckles said Anthony D. This is fun. That's funny.
That would be funny, like a Jewish superhero. Like those things. Those things are all guns, and they all shoot.
Yeah. I really like this thing though. I really like the design of these.
Hey, that would be funny, like a Jewish superhero, and he has his gun, and it has 7 barrels on it, like that, and he can say things like "Time to light the menorah," and he fires that. But he's got a dreidel, and like he spins it, but he's like just like Two-Face, and it has all these different punishments on the dreidel, and he can like take off his yarmulke and fling it like Odd Job from that James Bond movie, where it could like cut people's heads right off.
Inshallah. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. David, what are we doing?
What?
Are we going live tomorrow again?
Thursday or Friday, one of those.
Yeah, I think we might go live tomorrow. If you don't go live on your channel, we can go live on my channel again. On Friday, we can go live on your channel again. Whatever, we can do whatever. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. Okay. Yes, we'll be back. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a fantastic day. I'm glad you were here and glad you saw the humiliation, the absolute humiliation and destruction of a tortoise. The tortoise has been humiliated. From now on, he will be quiet. Celeria Rosencroix said, I have a basic script we've written up already, but haven't recorded it. I figured I might as well ask you before doing so. I have many ideas to work with. Yeah, I'm totally open to it.
Make the video.
Message me. Let's get in touch. Let's do that. Totally, absolutely.
You don't even need to message them. Just make the video.
Yeah, but if they want to communicate, I think so. It's me. So I'm open to that. You understand? Kosheramos Club said, I'm a Jewish superhero because I'm a mum. Oh, I'm a Jewish superhero because I'm a mom. Night, guys. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Toda Rabba. As they say. So, with all that said, have a fantastic day, as always. And there's just one final thing to say. We shall never forget. Which is...
Wrong. It's...
Actually wrong. It's this goat here.
Stay away from Islam.